Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pembroke Pines City Commission meeting of December 11th, 2025. Allow me to wish everyone an outstanding holiday season as we all get ready. However it is that you celebrate, please enjoy it with your family in happiness and prosperity. And let's all wish happiness and prosperity to the West Broward Bobcat football team who's going to be playing for the. What about that? It's the first time, the first of many, no doubt, but it's the first time for that team, and it just goes to show you. You know, I mean, look, people in Pembroke Pines are special. You know, we jump higher, we run faster. We do. I mean, there's just something. It's just something about the city. Don't you agree, Commissioner? Absolutely. I mean, it's just incredible, it just makes me so very, very proud. So happy holidays to everyone. All the best to our Bobcat team. And Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll for tonight's meeting?
Commissioner Good.
I am here.
Vice Mayor Hernandez.
Vice Mayor will be here at 8. He's got a family obligation, and he asked me to let you guys know.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Here.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Here.
Mayor Castillo.
Here.
City Manager Dodge.
Here.
City Attorney Gorin.
I'm here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you so very much. Today, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, we have an outstanding individual, Valerie Bookman, who is an 8th grader at Silver Trail Middle. And she's not only going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, but she's going to sing the national anthem for us. So if you would all stand, and please remain standing. Valerie?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow.
Thank you, everybody.
Valerie Bookman, 8th grade. Wow, is that something? I'm telling you, kids in Pembroke Pines could do anything. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the distinguishing honor today to welcome the mayor of Broward County, our good friend Mark Bogan, and he has a presentation for us. Mayor, we're honored to have you. The podium is yours. There's a button there that says speak.
Boom. Mayor, before I start, you said that you run faster. I'm in the north part of the county in Coral Springs, and I'd like to challenge you to a race because I think we can whip you in a race. So we'll have to get that down.
Good. I'll bring my bike and you run.
You know, as I said to you earlier, I didn't know anything south of Broward Boulevard. There was civilization, but I guess there is. So,
Yeah.
All right, in all seriousness, let me just start out by saying,
This is a great way to start a discussion.
absolutely.
Go right ahead. No,
So-
thank you very much. And I just want to, before you begin,
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for everything that you do that goes unnoticed, but I notice it, in terms of leading this county, this very, very special place. We always hear about people complaining, but any one of us should be thanking our lucky stars that we live in this county, because there are millions of people that would trade places with any one of us, if only they could, to live here. And a big part of that is the leadership you provide in Broward County, sir, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so let me just start out by saying what happened at our last meeting, and then I'll get into a story. At our last meeting, an individual who played Major League Baseball for 17 years, he kept in great shape for his lifetime in baseball. He's 60 years old or 60-something years old. He played for the Dodgers, he played for the Yankees, second base, and his name was Steve Sachs. And if you know Steve, Steve does kickboxing, he does martial arts, and if you met him today, he is in great shape. And he came to Broward County, going through Florida, and we told him to take what we're going to talk about today is this test that's not given anywhere in the country preventatively except in Broward County. We call it the heart test. He went, he said, Mark, I'm in great shape, I work out, I eat healthy, I have no symptoms, I feel great. He took the test and said thank you to our commissioners because they found 4 of his arteries were 95 to 99% blocked.
Wow.
He went back to California where he lives, had a quadruple bypass, came to our commission, thanked us for saving his life. And so that's what I want to take 3 to 4 minutes today just to talk to you about what we're doing and why everybody in this room could either themselves or somebody in their family or someone they care about, this can save their life. So let me just start by saying, as of today, we have scanned 7,000 people in Broward County, all who have no symptoms, all who feel great. And out of 7,000, over 4,000 of them needed either open heart surgery, stents, or medication because they had no idea that their arteries were blocked. So it started 20-something years ago. My mom, like millions of people, she was 73. She traveled, she got around, she did what anybody could need to do, and then one day, boom, died of a heart attack. And I went, because that happened to me, I went to a Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, one of the best hospitals in the world, and said, do I have to worry now that my mom died of a heart attack? Do I have to worry? And the chief cardiologist said to me, look, there's a test that could have saved your mom. Doctors are not giving it preventatively. So we do mammograms for women, we do colonoscopies for everybody else preventatively, but the leading cause of death, if you add up all the cancer deaths, brain cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, every cancer death added up, what's the leading cause of death? Heart attacks, okay? And after heart attacks, 1 in every 2 people will get cancer. So showed me the test in Mayo Clinic of the type, it's a scan, it takes 15 minutes, it's a 15-minute scan. All the major hospitals here have it, but doctors are not prescribing it preventively. Fast forward, I became an elected official, became commissioner of Broward County, I got $10 million set aside. We're now doing it for free for Broward residents. And as of this date, 7,000 people have gone through it, all feeling great, no symptoms, and over 57% of those people needed medical attention. An additional 5% had clear arteries, but they found lung cancer, or they found AFib. They found something else wrong. So we've actually helped up to 61, 62% of individuals. This test saves lives. And so I play baseball once a year with the Dodgers at spring training. I go every January in their fantasy camp. I'm active, I feel good. I went and had a test. They told me I had a 70% blockage in my widowmaker 3 years ago. And so they went in for a stent up my wrist. I was awake, put a stent in, it was painless, and hopefully I'm better. I have no problem, hopefully. And so all I could do is want you as a commissioners and this community to know about it. We're going to start publicizing it more. It's starting again up at the Cleveland Clinic. We're focusing all of this now at one hospital, Cleveland Clinic. People next week can go to takehearttest.com and sign up and get the test. If there's a problem, they can call me. We'll make sure they get in. Everyone on this dais and everybody here, either if you're over the age of 45, if you have parents or somebody that you know should take the test, it could save their lives. And so that's what I'm here talking about. It's been going on for 2 years, and that's kind of it.
You know, this is so astounding. I don't want to skip over it because we're being televised right now, and I know a lot of people watch. So if you're interested in taking this important test, what do you do? And is it paid for? Does the insurance have to pay for it? Is there an out-of-pocket cost? How does it work?
Broward County, until the money runs out, Broward County has put up, we still have money, we're paying for it, so it's free, okay? The Florida Panthers have now donated money as well, so we're calling it the Broward County Florida Panthers Heart Preventive Test. We're seeking other ways of raising money for it, but right now, it's free, there's no cost, insurance doesn't pay for it. They don't need insurance because we, the county, will pay for it, and it's gonna be ready to go starting next week, again, at the Cleveland Clinic. So if somebody wants to take the test, they would just go to takehearttest.com. If there's a problem, all they gotta do is look me up, Mark Bogan, Broward County, call my office, and we'll make sure that they get in.
Mayor, I saw that on the county Facebook or yours, I'm not sure which, you had done a short video on this that provided the link and the website and everything else. Could you provide that to us? Mr. Dodge, I would love to see this shared on the city's social media and on our TV station as well. And I want to thank you, sir, for everything that you're doing.
I, you know, it's a passion of mine because, you know, when you really can see that people, you know, could have died because of it, and now they're taking this test. So I urge you guys to really promote it and to take it and get there. And it's painless, doesn't hurt, and it could, you know, it could just do wonders for everybody. So,
Commissioners? Commissioner Good?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Mayor Bogan, I got to say, you know, you shared a lot of great stuff with us, but, you know, what's important to me is that, you know, you took the effort to create a program that saves lives, real lives. You took the time to get it funded so it's at no cost to everybody. And, you know, you put a lot of information out there that everybody can access. But what's most important to me right now is that you could have easily had your aides come out here. You could have easily had that video the mayor is talking about shown here. But here you are in person and showing us that you're touchable. And I just got to say, I really appreciate that in you, sir.
this is my passion.
Well,
You know, if you want to talk about a hole in the street or some fake picture, I'm going to send my aide. I'm sorry. But, okay, but if you want to talk about this, because this is, it doesn't get anything more, you know, what we do, what you guys do for communities. I mean, there's a million issues, homelessness and food insecurity and, you know, home affordability, go on, all these big issues. But to me, you know, when you're talking about actually being able to save a life and save lives, it doesn't get better than that. And so there's something out there for the leading cause of death that people should take advantage of before the money runs out. So
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
7,001.
Please. All right. Well, thank you all.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Mayor Bogan, I remember when you first got elected, and you have not stopped serving the public. There's something special about public service when you're able to help those and you don't know their names. How many lives have you saved because of this program? You've impacted 62% of those and their families. You've given them more time with their loved ones. We're only here for a short visit. And I want to thank you for your efforts. I want to thank your colleagues for supporting your initiative.
Right. Mike, by the way, Mike, if the Broward commissioners didn't support this or fund this, it would be nothing. So
what I would love to be able to do, 7,000 now and 1 million, and we need to put up on the tote board and get with the Broward League of Cities and see what we can do as a county, the One Broward initiative. And, you know, I would be the first one to say to Mr. Dodge, let's find some funds. What I'm saying is the county's doing its part. It's showing leadership. And now we have the other 30 towns and cities that could put their hand in their pocket and do the right thing for everyone, because we're all in this thing together. And here's the other thing too, Mayor. Creating awareness. I believe it's going to have the medical community start writing these scripts. I think that is certainly a hope that we can see. And again, as I mentioned to you, the national media picked up on this story. I want this to go huge. There's too many people who have no idea that they are really a widowmaker away from not being with their families. So thank you again, Mayor.
So let me just tell you, Mayor, the reason I haven't been here earlier was when I presented this program to the county commissioners, a lot of people are like, what is he talking about? I mean, this is not being done anywhere. Bogan doesn't know what he's talking about. And remember, I got this from Mayo Clinic in Rochester. And unfortunately, I'm wondering why don't doctors use this as a preventative? They will use it if you have chest pain and stuff, but as a preventative, because doctors, I've been told many cardiologists make their money doing stress tests in their office. And that for the American College of Cardiology and cardiologists have never wanted to explore, hey, there might be a better, more technologically advanced test that can see the arteries versus when you're on a treadmill and it talks about blood flow, it's a better test. And, you know, I've had cardiologists criticize this for whatever reason, but we've proven it now. That's why I'm here today. I'm going to go around. We've proven that this test has saved lives. And thank you for your comments, and hope we can get this message out.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation and for your comments. I was actually working at the county commission while you were trying to get this done, and I remember you got a little bit of some pushback, and you fought and you fought and you fought for this project to be funded by the county. So I just want to thank you and say that we appreciate all the work that you did to do this, because some might have thought, does government need to be a part of this healthcare decision in a sense? And I think it is really important for us to think outside of the box and come up with ideas that do help all of our residents.
And if you guys don't take it within the next 3 months, I'm going to be on your you-know-what. I'm telling you, you guys better be, you're too young.
I am too young.
But you got to be over 45. But seriously, you need to take this test. And if you don't, you're going to hear from me.
Thank you so
All right,
very
take
much.
care, guys.
Thank
Be
you,
well.
Mayor. I told you he was a great guy. Thank you so very much. So Alan Schneider is here to talk to us about the Miramar Pembroke Pines Rotary Club. And at this time, I would like to call him up to speak.
This is still on speaker, so
You're on.
You can hear me, okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mayor and City Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. And also I appreciate you moving me up because I have to go down to Coconut Grove to take care of my grandkids tonight, but that's a whole other story, so thank you for moving me up. I'm Alan Snyder. I'm on the board of directors of the Rotary Club of Miramar Pines. I'm joined by Jose Alvarado, who's the president of our club as well. A few weeks ago, I reached out to Mayor Castillo requesting that he appoint a Pembroke Pines elected city official replacement for our Rotary Club. Iris Seipel was the representative for 7 years, and she was a wonderful partner. We helped her with a lot of initiatives that she initiated for the city. She helped us with a lot of fundraisers and projects that we did, and I can talk about that later. And the mayor had some suggestions about, instead of an individual, he had a suggestion of maybe doing it on a rotating system, which I'll get to. But before I do, I want to give you a brief background about Rotary and our club, just as some background and to put some context into this. Most of you know about Rotary, but we are the world's largest service organization. We're in over 200 countries. We have 1.3 million members and over 40,000 individual clubs. Rotary International mostly focuses on global projects. There's 7 major initiatives. I won't go through them all, but they deal with health, education, peace building, environment, etc. And we as a club also get involved with those, and most of our projects align with those initiatives. The Rotary motto is service above self. And as far as our own club's initiatives, they include our signature program, which is called Food for Thought. It used to be called Pack a Sack when we were managing it, but it started growing and growing. We partnered with the New Horizons Methodist Church now, and we're serving over 300 meals a week to kids who are typically food deprived, who typically only eat meals at their schools, and on weekends when they come, there isn't any food in their household. And that's been a very successful program. And just last night, we partnered with Cassandra Castillo, who she originally said she was your niece, but she then said she wasn't really
I'm
related.
sure if you go far,
She
way,
wasn't related to you.
far back, way back, we're related, but I'm not aware of it.
But anyhow, we partnered with Cassandra. She coordinated this with the police department, and we partnered with Target, and we had approximately 20 students, low-income students, and we honored them with a $100 gift card for each student. And there were over 20 police officers there. They took each of the kids, and the police officer went with the kid and their parents, and they went to the toy section, to the clothing section, et cetera, and they could spend up to $100. And it was a magnificent event, wonderful, but it's the type of thing that we get involved with giving back to the community. And we used to be two separate clubs, Miramar and Pembroke Pines, but in 2007, we merged. And one of the commissioners, I think it was Commissioner Good, was a member at that time. And I think you were probably involved in the coordination of the two clubs. That was before my time, but thank you very much for your service. And the Commissioner Good certainly knows what Rotary is all about. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are non-political. So why am I here? The reason is that your representatives can help us, and we can help you. The representative in Miramar is Commissioner Coburn. I think she's Vice Mayor Coburn right now. And she has been wonderful, and we've done several projects with her. We partnered with Waste Pro in doing a backpack presentation for back to school. We've done book giveaways, and they in turn supported with some of our fundraisers, like a karaoke event that we had. And it was 2 months ago, they surprised us. They invited us to the commissioners meeting, and they presented us with a $5,000 award or donation that came from the city, because we've been contributing and partnering with them for 5 years, and they just gave that to us to help support our initiatives, and we're continuing to partner with them. And as I said, Iris Seipel was very, very good, and she helped coordinate things like Breakfast with Santa program, for example, and coordinated with Pines Charter School so we could use their cafeteria. She got Holly Bonkowitz?
Monkowski.
Holly to get involved. She was absolutely wonderful. She coordinated with the food service so that when they had Breakfast with Santa, they provided all the food for that, and they had the custodial staff help set up, et cetera. And that's what we would like out of a partnership.
So the conversation that we had was, and of course this is up to the city commission, we agreed that the vice mayor every year, because the position rotates, would be the delegate to the Miramar Pembroke Pines Chamber of Commerce, and the vice mayor designate would be the alternate. And if the commission is willing, we can add that responsibility to the vice mayor position. Unless anyone has an objection, that's certainly one way to handle it. But we're a little shortchanged right now, Commissioner, Vice Mayor. I'm sure, I wouldn't want to do this in his absence. So we will take this up, and I just want to thank you for everything that you guys do. I was made an honorary member. Your records may not show that in 2004.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Upon my election,
no, I didn't know that.
I still have the coin at home,
Okay.
and it's terrific. And in addition to that, I'll be happy to come and see you guys once a year and give you an update on city matters if you'll invite me.
Right, and you had mentioned that, and we're going to work with Karen. We had no openings, sorry, but for the end of this year, but we'll get you in early next year.
I'm happy to work around your schedule.
Yeah, and the last thing I just want to mention is that although we meet twice a month, but I think Yvette Coburn comes to like 3 or 4 meetings a year, mostly when she has something that she needs from us or we are doing with her. So it's not a major commitment, but it's just the contact that we have a go-to person.
Absolutely.
And that's great. And yes, and I loved everyone loved your idea of rotating because it makes sense because we get to deal with different people.
The reason I like it is it gives everybody a chance to have that exposure, and I think that's important.
Exactly.
So thank you so very much, and thank you for everything that you all do to help make Pembroke Pines a better place, and happy holidays.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have presentations. And the first one goes to the 12U PLO Bulldogs, Red Day. Wow. Come on up. Come on up. How are you? Good to see you. How are you? You guys did well. Fantastic. Great. The whole team, how are you doing? Yeah. Is this for me? Let's turn this around. All right. Which one of you is the catcher? Come here. Right here. You're going to help me read this, all right? See, because you're the catcher, so you call the signs, right? Okay, you're going to help me read this. This is a proclamation of the city of Pembroke Pines, Florida. One line.
Youth sports play a vital role in the building's character, leadership, teamwork, and community spirit among young athletes. And
where's the third baseman? And whereas
the 13U PLO Bulldogs, under the leadership of head coach Chris Bronner and assistant coach Alex Fonseca and Jamie Lopez, demonstrated acceptance, dedication, discipline, and sportsmanship throughout their season. And
where's the center fielder? Whereas the team? Whereas the team?
I don't see.
Okay, whereas the team achieved an impressive 49-14 season, is that right?
Yeah,
Record, and went
undefeated to win the prestigious Cooperstown Dreams Park Summer Tournament, competing against 104 teams from across the nation. One of only 14 teams crowned champion out of over 1,400 people who compete annually.
And whereas the following players contributed to this extraordinary accomplishment through their talent and teamwork, achieving 149 hits, 65 home runs, and 65 strikeouts during their 10-game undefeated run at Cooperstown. Tyler Bronner, Matthew Rodriguez, Luis Ramirez, William Bubba Gethouse, Alexis Fonseca Jr., Matthew Barrios, Arish Saheed, Ari Colton, Jail Marmol, Anthony Santabanez, Jamie Lopez, Matthew Escalona. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim December 11th, 2025 as 12U PLO Bulldogs Red Day in the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, in honor of their outstanding season and championship achievement, and in celebration of their dedication, sportsmanship, and representation of excellence in youth athletics. Guys, congratulations. Let's take a photo. Hold on. Coach, a couple words?
Just want to thank you for having us out here. Fantastic. Recognize these boys and all the hard work they've done. And it was a really great moment to represent the city of Pembroke Pines. And make no mistake, the teams from Coral Springs do not belong in the same field as us, sir.
I'm glad Bogan's gone. Guys, you make us proud. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Hey, you just missed us volunteering.
Yeah, we gave you a job while you were away.
Yeah. Real job.
All right. This is a proclamation of the city of Pembroke Pines for Rick Case Bikes Day for Kids. Whereas Bikes for Kids program was founded in 1982 by Rita and Rick Case in partnership with the local Boys and Girls Clubs to distribute new and pre-owned bicycles during the holiday season to children whose holidays might otherwise be less bright. And whereas the program not only provides much appreciated gifts to deserving children, but also teaches young people the meaningful lesson of generosity and joy of giving. And whereas since its inception, more than 125,000 bicycles have been donated through the program in Atlanta and South Florida, reflecting the extraordinary legacy and kindness and community support. And whereas this remarkable effort, driven by the Case family, dedicated volunteers, and generous donors, continues to uplift thousands of children each year and exemplifies the spirit of service celebrated by the city of Pembroke Pines. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of Pembroke Pines, the greatest city in the world, the city that cares, can, and does, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim December 11th, 2025 as Rick Case Bikes Day for Kids in the city of Pembroke Pines, Florida, and commend the Case family and all participants for their unselfish dedication to this program, encouraging our residents to support this outstanding project in every possible way. Thank you so very much.
So, I mean, most of you guys are probably driving Rick Case cars as it is, but if you're not, we're here. At the end of the day, we have a company motto: our customers are friends, our employees are family, our communities are home. And we not only just put that as our motto, but we live it. You know, we volunteer and sponsor a lot of the junior achievements, Broward County centers, and, you know, this is just another way that we want to give back to the community that takes care of us. So at the end of the day, we're all in it together, like you said earlier. So thank you for everything, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so very much, and happy holidays. Okay. This is a 2025 Achievement in Excellence in Procurement Award. At this time, I would like to invite our Assistant City Manager and Director of Procurement and Sustainability, Mark Gomes, along with his exceptional team, to join me at the podium. The team, when Pembroke Pines need it, they get it for us. It is once again with great pride that we gather to recognize a remarkable accomplishment by our city's procurement department. This year, the City of Pembroke Pines has been awarded the 2025 Achievement and Excellence in Procurement Award from the National Procurement Institute, Inc., a distinction that reflects the highest standards in public procurement. This award is earned only by organizations that demonstrate true excellence in the areas of e-procurement, innovation, professionalism, productivity, and leadership. It is not a simple recognition. It is a validation of an organization's unwavering commitment to the best practices and continuous improvement. For 2025, there were 216 successful applicants, including 85 cities, 48 counties, 23 special districts, 26 school districts, 15 higher education agencies, and 7 states, as well as other entities across the United States and Canada. Pembroke Pines stands proudly among them. This is an elite group. Not only does this item place our city among top-performing procurement organizations, but it also reinforces the importance of responsible stewardship in public resources. The standards set by the AEP program push agencies to improve year after year, to redefine their processes, embrace innovation, leverage technology, and lead with transparency and professionalism. Our procurement department continues to lead by example, ensuring that every dollar is spent wisely, every process is accountable, and every effort is made to support the residents and businesses of Pembroke Pines. Their work directly strengthens our operational efficiency, sustainability, and overall service to the community. Tonight, we not only congratulate them on earning this prestigious award once again, we celebrate the dedication and teamwork and commitment behind it. To Mark and the entire procurement sustainability team, thank you for representing our city with excellence, integrity, and innovation. Congratulations on this outstanding achievement, and thank you for your continued service to the city of Pembroke Pines.
I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commission, for all the support. Thank you, City Manager Dodge, for giving me the opportunity to lead the team. And most importantly, I would like to thank our team. As you know, we could not do it without them. This is an amazing team of procurement specialists, including our fleet division as well, and our sustainability team. As you know, when it comes to procurement, there's a lot of things that make a city run. Whether it's procuring the services for the roads that we drive on, whether it's the commission chambers that we're in today, whether it's the band equipment at the charter schools. There's a lot of vital, important things that we do, and I would like to thank them for all the hard work they do every day to make that happen. Thank you all.
Thank you very, very much. You guys are great. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you for everything you do. Okay. Next. We have the 250th anniversary of the United States Postal Service. Is anyone here to pick that up? Yes. Please come forward. No matter rain or sleet or this or that, you're there. 250 years. Wow. You don't look a day over. Okay. This is a proclamation of the city of Pembroke Pines, Florida, on the 250th anniversary of the United States Postal Service. Whereas 2025 marks the 250th anniversary of the creation of the U.S. Postal Service, established 1 year before the founding of the nation, so that we could mail the Declaration of Independence. And later enshrined in the U.S. Constitution, serving as one of America's most enduring public institutions. And whereas Throughout our nation's history, the U.S. Postal Service has played a vital role in connecting communities, supporting the development of transportation and commerce, and fulfilling its universal service obligation to provide equal and affordable service to all residents, no matter who they are or where they live. Whereas the Postal Service, operating without taxpayer funding and powered by its own revenue, serves more than 169 million addresses, 6 and often 7 days a week, anchoring 1.3 trillion mailing and packaging industry, that $1 trillion packaging and mailing industry that supports millions of jobs, while remaining one of the nation's largest employers of veterans. And whereas the USPS continues to be an essential public service by ensuring secure communications, financial transactions, mail order medications, mail-in voting, e-commerce delivery, and fair union-supporting employment that reflects the diversity of our nation. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, along with the City Commission, do hereby recognize the 250th anniversary of the United States Postal Service, commend the dedication of the nation's postal workers, affirm support for the USPS vital public mission as established by the Postal Reorganization Act, and express our commitment to a strong, accessible, and thriving postal service for generations to come. Congratulations.
On behalf of Broward County Area Local, I want to thank you for taking out the time to present us with this proclamation and acknowledging the work that we do. As the Vice President of Broward County Area Local, I'm 24 hours a day trying to make sure we can, get more workers, better staff, stop the overworking so we can provide better service to the community. So thank you so much for still utilizing the Postal Service.
And thank you for everything that you do. Thank you. Okay. Now we have Girl Scouts. They here? Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Sophia.
Hi, Sophia. What's your name?
Sophia.
Your name, Sophia? And what's your last name?
Garcia.
And your last name is not Garcia.
Pestana.
All right. So, Thin Mints are my favorite. They're actually my weakness. So if you knock on my door, that's it. Hint, hint. This is a proclamation of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Pembroke Pines Girl Scouts Sophia Garcia and Sophia Pestana. Project earns prestigious Silver Award. Whereas the City of Pembroke Pines proudly recognizes cadet-level Girl Scouts Sophia Garcia and Sophia Pastrana of Troop 14005, whose dedication to ocean conservation and environmental education earned them a prestigious Silver Award from the Girl Scouts of Southeast Florida, and the highest honor attained by Girl Scout cadets in 6th through 8th grade. Commissioner Rodriguez, will you join me, please? And whereas, driven by a shared passion for protecting marine ecosystems, Garcia and Pestana created the project Saving Corals is the Morals, partnering with Miami waterkeeper and former science engagement coordinator Nadine Nagel to study the alarming decline of coral reefs due to global warming and pollution, and to educate the public about coral bleaching.
And whereas the Girl Scouts expanded their educational outreach by developing a YouTube channel, ooh, fancy, featuring informative videos and presentations about coral reef health, and hosted an in-person event that engaged more than 30 attendees and inspired over 300 online viewers to take meaningful steps in support of marine conservation. And whereas Garcia and Pestana were recognized among 74 outstanding young leaders at the 7th Annual Silver Award Showcase, collectively contributing more than 4,100 service hours. So do you guys sleep, or you just do service hours all day long? towards projects addressing environmental sustainability, mental health awareness, food insecurity, care for aging populations, and support for veterans, demonstrating true leadership, compassion, and community impact.
Now therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, at the request of Commissioner Thomas Good, do hereby congratulate Sofia Garcia and Sofia Pestana for earning the prestigious Girl Scout Silver Award and commend their exceptional commitment to environmental stewardship, community education, and the values of leadership and service that strengthen our community and inspire future generations. Commissioner, will you join us, please? Huh? And you each get one. That's pretty special. I mean, wow. I'm so impressed. So how old, can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 14 years old. 15.
You're 14 and 15 years old, and you're already taking care of the oceans, and you're taking, I'm telling you, kids in Pembroke Pines are special. I keep telling you, there's nothing they can't do. We're so incredibly proud of you both. Thank you so very much, and congratulations. And don't forget Thin Mints. Okay. Yeah. Now we have the Natalie Belmonte Award for which district? District 3. District 3.
So, Mayor, as we do every month, once a month, we bring the best and the brightest, the best yards in our city. District 3's winner for November. They're in Pembroke Falls, and I mean, the pictures stand for themselves. It's an amazing yard, and we're extremely proud to recognize the family.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
So what's your secret?
It's a refuge against my day job sitting on my butt being an office guy. So you get some self-satisfaction. We can see what you're able to do with your hands and make things look a little bit better. So.
That's fantastic. You have a $50 gift certificate. Do you get that, or does she? Okay.
But it's good to know that it's good. Thank you very much. It's just good to know that you take the time to go out into the neighborhood. We talked to, I think it was Julieta, who came to my house or called. Yep, on your team, and I asked her, how do you do this? I said, we drive around, we spend some time and get out into the neighborhood. So great to see that you're out there.
Speaking of driving around, this is our friend from Code Compliance. Now let me tell you, when he comes down the block, now he doesn't always get a friendly hello. But let me tell you something, they care about our city, and they take the time to notice things, like how beautiful your house is. What did you think when you saw his house?
Great house, great work. I see how you're relaxing a lot, doing all the flowers and everything. Beautiful work. Great job. Enjoy the card.
And I'm glad to advise you that all of your permits are in order. So, so thank you very, very much, and congratulations.
Mayor, we'll be back in January with our next great yard for District 4 for the month of December. Mayor, there's a QR code up here. People, if you see great yards, take a picture of this QR code. Let us know. We'll come out and look. We do like driving around, but we like getting nominations just as much. So please let us know who you think the great yards are. Thank you, Mayor.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, Mr. City Attorney, I've been asked to take item 39 out of order as an accommodation to the applicant. Can you please read item 39 into the record?
I will be happy to, Mr. Mayor. I can get to it, if you will. Item 39 for the record is a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R-46. It is a proposed resolution number 2025-R-46, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, approving the potable, or potable as the case may be, water and wastewater services agreement with the town of Southwest Ranches, authorizing the city manager to execute the potable water and wastewater services agreement with the town of Southwest Ranches, approving pending transfer of the potable water and wastewater services agreement, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Number 2025-R46 on the floor for consideration. Thank you, Mayor and Commission. 39.
Can we have a motion, please? Motion to approve. Moved by Commissioner Good. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Is there any discussion among the commissioners?
I have a question for the applicant's legal counsel.
Okay.
Good evening, Barbara Hall for the applicant.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
So, has the town of Southwest Ranches finished their obligation by going first?
They have.
Wonderful.
I received a text from the city attorney
Okay.
saying it was unanimously approved.
And they have a and everything. I asked Ms. Hall to go ahead and get that done from the town before we took action, Mayor. I'm happy to support the item.
Okay, anyone else? I want to read the following two provisions of the contract into the record because I think it's important. There's a certain history to this that I hope to leave behind us. However, the first provision is 10.7. This is additional covenants. The city's provision of water and or wastewater services to the property shall be pursuant to this agreement and shall not constitute a utility or a service area in the town of Southwest Ranches.
Agreed.
Right? Agreed. If during the term of this agreement the town shall modify, change, or alter the current land use and zoning for the property, then in that event, and under the provisions of Chapter 50 of the City Code of Pembroke Pines, expressly prohibiting noxious uses, the city reserves unto itself and on behalf of the citizens of the city the right to implement the terms, conditions, and provisions of ordinance number 2009 adopted by the mayor and the city commission on September 20th, 2023, which, if such action occurs, shall be deemed a material breach of this agreement.
Agreed.
Okay. And the last one is 10.9. During the term of this agreement, the customer shall not permit the property to be used for a jail facility, immigration center, detention center, for any residential purpose. Further, the customer shall not permit the property to be used or transformed into an incinerator for incinerator ancillary uses as defined by the certain declaration of restrictive covenants respectively recorded on April 29th, 2024, in instrument number 119-545-107, and on May 6th, 2024, in that instrument number 119-558-180.
Agreed, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney, anything else?
No, Mayor, you've read the operative provisions that were conditions that this commission has imposed on any and all uses of this type and kind, and you have reflected upon that by your request.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone wish to speak on this from the public? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Congratulations and thank you.
For the record, Mayor and Commission, permanent number is 3935 for those who need to know, and the documents will be, when signed and finalized, will be recorded in the Broward County Public Records with promptness.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Items at the request of the, yes,
May I
I'm sorry.
just
Yes.
thank the city attorney and Paul Hernandez, who works with the city attorney, and Tim Welch, all of whom spent a good deal of time working on the agreement. And I appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much. All my best to our neighbor. Okay. Items at the request of the public. I have 2 people signed up. However, I think that this is best left until the item comes up. Mr. Card and Mr. Straley, without objection. I'm going to hold on to your papers until your item is read, and I want to thank you for that. The next speaker is Toby Millman.
Good evening.
Your name and your address for the record, please.
Toby Melman, 1711 Northwest 105th Avenue, Pembroke Pines, 33026. First, I want to wish all of you a healthy, safe New Year. Second of all, I am a little concerned with the speedway of Taft Street. Something has got to be done. We either need more policemen out there. It's a raceway there. It's terrible. We've already had 3 kids killed. If you want more, then keep the cops away. My third thing is Florida Power and Light. I can't understand how our government can lower taxes. And Florida Power and Light gets 3 raises in a year. I mean, my bill is over $200 and I don't cook. Something has got to be done. If it takes more people going to the newspapers, I will do it. I will get a whole bunch of people. They don't call me the mouth of the South for nothing. Something has got to be done. It's only one company, and I guess they can do anything they darn well please. Not in my book. I'm too old for this. I'm on a budget, and I'm telling you, it's killing me. Have a good year, everybody.
Thank you very much. You know, I want to tell you that with respect to Taft Street, we have the deputy chief here. He's going to look into that right away, and I want to thank you for coming forward. And with respect to FP&L, while the city has nothing to do with how the rates are set, I want to commend once again Vice Mayor Mike Hernandez. He did something here in Pembroke Pines that very few cities did. We sent a resolution to the state asking them not to do this exactly for the reasons that you said, that people had difficulty affording it. And yet this was, they were sued, the lawsuits were settled, and these increases were approved. Even as, just as you said, there's discussion about eliminating other revenues, but these revenues were approved. And the home insurance bills are still huge. And it does seem like there are mixed messages, but I want to thank you for coming forward, and I want you to know that you have in the city of Pembroke Pines a commission that gives voice to the concerns that the residents have. We do what we can, and we go sometimes do things that we're told by staff who are very capable that we can't do sometimes, because we want to give voice to the concerns of the residents in our city because we care.
Well, getting back to the speeding.
Yeah.
When the 3 children were killed.
Yes, I remember.
The speeding lights at 108th, I think, and 100 and where the old city hall used to be.
Yeah, it's a little west.
The blinking lights giving the speed. They're not doing their job. Half of the time they don't work. Something has got to be done to stop these people from speeding
Well,
like this.
I have to tell you that I'm in that area at least 3 times a week, and I'm gonna take another look, but I've never seen them not work. And they are proven effective in reducing speeding. They also capture information about when cars are going fast. Speeding happens to be one of those human behaviors that follow certain patterns. And when the police can't be there because they're patrolling some other part of the city, the data tells them when they should be there. And so it's really sort of the only tool we have short of militarizing the entire city. And that data is available. It is collected. And it is collected even if there's a problem with the lights. The data is being collected in that system. It's not just a light. There's information collection that goes into these devices, and they're used all over the world very, very effectively. Our police department believes in them, and that's good enough for me. But the police are right in the back, Toby, and I'm going to ask you, if you can, to speak to Chief Bermudez, who's sitting right in the back, and he's going to take your information, and we're going to get on it. And I want to wish you a happy holiday, you and your family. Thank you for coming forward.
Mayor, if I may,
Yeah.
Toby, we love you, and you're always looking out for the community. It's funny, just last month, I was having a very similar conversation about your concerns. I will follow up with you as always, and I'll certainly have a deeper dive in the information that the mayor had mentioned about what's available to us to keep our community safer. But just give me about a week or so, and I'll give you an update, okay? Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, God bless all of you.
Thank you very much. We have a commission audit item. However, there's no commission audit report tonight. It's a separate item, right? Okay, so there's no commission audit report. Appeals of Board of Adjustment decisions.
Mayor, I had requested by administration to pull 41 into that slot.
Yeah, we'll get there. Appeals of Board of Adjustment decisions.
None, Mayor.
Okay. Announcement of board appointments.
None, Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Schwartz, you wanted to pull which item?
I wanted to bring 41 up to the front. And
Okay, we'll do 41 right away, and that is discussion and.
May I say, Mr.
Oh,
Mayor?
so that is the item.
Correct,
That's
Mr.
not your
Mayor.
item.
Correct.
That's the item. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding retirement of Commission Auditor Daniel O'Keefe. Dan, will you come forward? Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Commission Auditor. And we're so very, very thankful for your years of service, of devoted and dedicated and effective service. Boy, have you helped this city. And from the day you got here, even to do special things like when we needed a lawyer to give us some advice, out of the blue, you found a perfect lawyer for us. I don't even know how you did it, but you came up with someone who came and opened, and through that advice, which our lawyer was helped by and others were helped by, it opened a new door of possibility to a problem that we thought the door was not just shut, but nailed shut. In every single way that we have asked you to help us, you've been there. And you've been our commission auditor, is it 15 years now?
It seems that long.
How long has it been?
It's got to be about that long.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's got to be around 15 years. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I remember when, because this was my item, I brought forward the item to have a commission auditor. And there were 2 members of the commission at that time that didn't like the idea. And it had to go onto the agenda. And sort of at the same time, there was a motion to say any ballot question that the city of Pembroke Pines puts on, it has to be costed out. And that's because at the time, I think the the top end of the engagement was $250,000, and they thought that well, they possibly thought. I mean, it was widely speculated that they thought that by putting the $250,000 price tag for a commission auditor on the ballot, people would vote no. And yet it passed overwhelmingly because it made common sense that in an organization as large and as complex as ours, we should have an internal auditor who was truly independent. And you were selected competitively. Lots of people wanted the engagement, but we saw fit to let that choice fall to you. And let me tell you, what a great choice that was. And I'm very, very sorry to hear that that you'll be leaving. However, I want to thank you and wish you all the very, very best.
It's my pleasure. I mean, it's been a kind of a great journey. And when we started, you know, I had Eddie by my side and Bill Blinn, who you don't know, but was also kind of counsel with me in terms of kind of coming up with some ideas. And, you know, we kind of took it to a point where, you know, I thought it was good, and but I wanted to take it to another level, and I think that's what happened this year with Christy Clements and Jamie Amos and Eddie Castaneda. They're my dream team. I mean, they just did an unbelievable job this year. When Christy and I were talking about the audit plan, I said, Christy, you going to get this done in the timeline you have laid out? And she said, yes. I said, okay, I hope you do it. And she exceeded my expectations. So I feel in one respect, you know, a little sadness, you know, because it has been, you know, fun serving the city. But I feel if you go with Christy, I'm leaving it in great hands with a great team that I think will continue to serve you for many years to come. But it has been an absolute pleasure serving this city.
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion?
On this item here, we're discussing, just saying, hey, thank you very much for
Well,
all
we're
the years of service.
thanking him, but he's making a recommendation, I believe, that he be succeeded as commission auditor by Christie. Is that correct?
That's correct.
It's certainly the firm's choice, and I know Mr. O'Keefe with Stephen Lovelace. I mean, Eddie has been, I mean, Dan, you've been our point person.
Right.
We know that staff works with Eddie all the time, and we have generally worked with you, and we have a great team. You came here several months ago with the merger. I had the utmost confidence that if you said it was a good deal for us, then without question, it's a good deal for the community. So I'm happy to support whatever recommendation, who the point person is going to be for us, and I imagine whatever the next level down, working with staff, may or may not change, and you'll advise if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, it will. The team will not change. I can tell you that right now, and of course it's a recommendation from me, but it is your decision.
And who are you recommending specifically?
Christy Clements is who I recommend to kind of
serve as the commissioner.
The contact role, you know, for the engagement. Now, she would have been here tonight, but she's
she called.
She's in
me.
Europe with her family. So.
We had and that's on us. We had a change in our schedule.
Right.
It was essential to make that change, and she had already made her plans with her family, and I totally respect that. She told me that you all would be here instead, and it's totally understandable. I'll tell you that pleased as I am that the choice fell to you, and thankful as I am for the service that you have provided, the choice is ours, not anyone else's.
That's right.
This is a charter position. It is a charter office. And I am extremely proud and thankful that you and your former firm merged with Mazar. They're clearly an outstanding firm. However, it is my belief, unless three of you think otherwise, it is my belief that we should go out to bid. And the reason I'm saying that is because it has to be done competitively. And we've provided an extension, which was debated here, to you, only because it involved you personally. It was our confidence in you personally that caused us not to go out to bid before, when your contract had in fact expired. It could entirely be possible, in my view, if the commission supports this, that your firm is once again chosen. I mean, it makes perfect sense. But I think that from an appearance perspective and elsewhere, the choice needs to be made by the city commission, not by the firm. And so I'm not going to be making that motion, but it's up to the commission. If the commission decides that what it wants to do is accept your recommendation, I'm okay with it. However, I think that we should go out to bid. That's my personal thought. Vice Mayor?
I'd like to thank you for your service, Mr. O'Keefe. I will say that this is, it's bittersweet because I don't want to see you go. In the year and a half that I've been here, you've always been responsive, as has your team. Mayor, I would not support at this time going out to bid. I would, however, just speaking for myself, I have great respect for Ms. Clements. However, if I have a first-round draft pick, he's sitting to the left over there, Eddie, he would be my choice personally, and Ms. Clements and your team backing him up. If it were up to me, it's not up to me. We have 5 up here. However, I'm not supportive of a procurement item at this time. I'm pleased with what we have with our auditors at this time. My only difference of opinion here is that I hate to use your first name, Eddie, but Eddie would be the designated commission auditor. That is not to show any lack of confidence in Ms. Clements at all. She is fantastic and professional. I just think that the breadth of his experience here with the city of Pembroke Pines is my preference. I have to wait to see what my colleagues say. With that said, I congratulate all of you on great work that you've done. I will emphasize a point that I know Commissioner Good has made in a previous meeting, not today, but in a previous city commission meeting, and the mayor just made now. The commission auditor reports to the city commission. And I appreciate that independence. This is not in any way disparaging. Our administration is fantastic and professional. However, the auditors report to the commission, and I appreciate the maintaining of that independence, and thank you for your hard work. I am going to listen to the rest of my colleagues. Thank you.
Commissioner Good.
And if I can just point out, too, the Forvis Mazars is happy with whatever selection you make. Okay.
Commissioner Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I think probably the most important thing that I heard was, your dream team, right? So, who is on this team? And it's really the team, because I have never dealt with your firm other than in a team format. And I've not had the pleasure of having you as the lead be the only one who has had conference with me. It's sort of like the way that we deal with our attorney. We have our Mr. Gorin, who is our attorney, but probably a large percentage of my conversation is with his team, so to say.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the team concept that's very important. And in the absence of that team, that's when I might start getting some concerns. I have to say, Mr. Mayor, I was very, I've expressed my concerns about the auditor in the past. I think bringing on the additional resources was very helpful and given me a comfort in terms of capabilities and capacity. And so I've seen some things that I'm very, very comfortable with so far, and I've made it very, very clear. I'm watching for that performance. I'm watching for the results. I'm watching for, the unbiased reports of what you find provided to us. And I'd like to see that continue. So I know that it's very important, though, that you have new people and you have historical value as well. You have Mr. Cassiano, who's historical representation now that he is the historical representation of you now leaving. So, and then you have everybody else that's brand new and things like that. So I personally would like to see that team stays strong. To me, it's very important. And if any of that team changes, then that's when I think, well, that's when I will probably, again, do a hard evaluation and then make that consideration for a rebid of the services. But right now, I think the bid is fine. I just think, though, that who you provide to us is continuing to be competent and capable and qualified and responsive. And that's what I look for.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Thank you so much for the work that you've all put into the audits that you bring forth. I've had the pleasure of being in contact with you and your team, and it's always just a phone call away, especially when we're making really big decisions. Your audits do help in that decision-making process. I do not support going out to bid for this. I think this is a really good firm, and when we did evaluate the confirmation when you changed into that bigger firm, one of the things that brought us a lot of insight is that in a bigger firm you have more resources. We were able to get those audits back in time, even though there was a lot of time ticking and a lot of pressure for you all to get it done. I don't believe it's in the best interest of the city to go out to bid for that at the moment. I think in response to what Commissioner Good mentioned, if there is a change up in the team where someone who hasn't been working with the city for an extended period of time is to leave, then we can evaluate at that moment or when this current contract is over. But I think preemptively doing that doesn't bode well with me, because we have a lot of things that we do need to get in through the audit in this upcoming year. And I think through these couple of months you've been able to have some of that information be processed over to this firm, and to have to do that all over again would take some time, and I think keeping it as is would be my preference. I would like to support Commissioner or Vice Mayor Hernandez's point about Eddie. However, I don't understand maybe the reason why you made that recommendation, whether it's seniority levels, policies at the firm. So if you could give a little bit more insight, then we can consider that as well.
Yeah. The reason I was recommending, and again recommending Christy, was this is what she does 24/7, is internal audits. This is her whole thing. Eddie and I, we did financial and compliance audits, and we did some internal audits. So I just felt like with her vast experience, it would make sense. Now, with that said, there is an advantage of Eddie being the fact that he's local. Okay, so he's actually boots in the ground, so to speak. So, which means that he's a few minutes away from City Hall, and if something came up, he could address a situation or come to a meeting or whatever. So, and I get that. I think both of them are competent and capable. I love them both. I think they both are hard workers, and but I do leave that decision to you. But that was my thinking, just so you know.
Thank you.
Right.
Mayor, with respect to the procurement, it's kind of ironic that Barbara Hall was in the room tonight, because we just approved something in the town of Southwood for the town of Southwest Ranches. I was not even sworn in yet as a commissioner-elect the 31st of January of 2012, and I get a call from Mr. O'Keefe saying, you have a big decision to make in a week, and that was the selection of additional legal counsel. I also remember sitting out in the audience in the early part of 2010, just as a citizen, when the commission was debating whether or not there should be a charter officer to oversee and be independent of the administration. I'm personally vested in the commission auditor position because it actually defined one of the reasons why I ran. Certainly, I can't speak for any one of my colleagues. I don't know who they call. I don't know how many phone numbers they have. But whether it's Christy, Dan, Eddie, Jamie, I call and they pick up the phone. It doesn't go to voicemail. If I send a text after hours, past 7 at night, I'm getting a phone call. That's what a team concept is. And if we didn't learn anything, how many times have we asked Mr. O'Keefe, hey, do you want to do it via Zoom? This was before Zoom. It was the other company, whatever the heck that was called. He's like, no, I'll come down because you live in Orlando. Mm-hmm. So to say that we can't work with somebody who is 3 hours away by car is just not, I just can't buy that. And I know Christy is available. I know Jamie's available. Eddie and I, we served on that procurement for a little bit of time. Okay, so I actually got to see the man actually working side by side. So, like Commissioner Good says, I'm perfectly sound with this whole team concept, but I'm also performance-driven, performance metrics-driven. And the people I just mentioned know that if I am dissatisfied or have some concerns, they will hear from me, and they're laughing because they know they've gotten these phone calls, right? Yep. So what I like about this team is there's absolutely no filter and absolutely zero politics. That is critical when I evaluate an auditor. And they have shown me that they do their job. And I'm happy to support Christy. That would be my motion, Mayor.
So there's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any from the public? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your time. All my best to you in retirement. Stay in touch. And thank you again for everything you've done.
If I could come forward.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Thank you so very much, all of you, and happy holidays. Okay, today's consent agenda consists of items number 1 through 34. What is your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull 34.
Hold on. 34. Uh, 34, all of them? Or, oh yeah, it's just one. Okay, good. Any others?
10.
10. Any others? Seeing none, I need a motion, any from the public? Seeing none, I need a motion for items 1 through 34, except for 10 and 34.
Motion to approve.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Commissioner Schwartz, you are recognized for item 10.
Okay, and I'll be going to the city attorney after we get the second on the motion. Motion to approve the charter school 2025-2026 school improvement plans for the Pembroke Pines Elementary, FSU Elementary, Middle, and Academic Village Charter Schools, and the 2025-2026 proactive discipline guides for the elementary, middle, and FSU Elementary Charter Schools, the 25-26 parent/student handbooks for the elementary, middle, FSU Elementary, and Academic Village Charter Schools, including the discipline matrix and the Broward County School District Code of Conduct for the Academic Village and the Pembroke Pines Charter School Wellness Policy for 2025-2026.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. So we have, and I'll have the city attorney advise that we can clean it up. I want to thank the advisory boards for doing what they do. I want to thank our principals and staff for supporting them and supporting us. There's been some changes in Broward County's disciplinary policy, and I asked Mr. Bonilla to include the Code of Conduct for 25-26 that was referenced by the documents that the parents had already approved on the advisory board, so that we can have a comparison, making sure that everything is included. One of those on page 18, section 5, it's important for students to know their rights and responsibilities, which include obeying teachers and all other school employees, obeying each rule as defined by the school and the Code of Conduct. Section 5, page 25B4, the use of insulting, profane, or offensive language won't be tolerated. Section 8, interventions. Most disciplinary issues should be addressed at the classroom level by teachers. Page 130, section 2, profanity at the high school level has 4 levels of discipline that may include suspension on the very first occurrence. And finally, the Promise Program, which is referenced in our documents that our parents' advisory board approved, but the county stopped the program in 2023. So I asked the city attorney, since we own the product, if we can go ahead and pull it out of those documents. City attorney, please codify. I asked you that question prior to tonight's meeting, and your response was, since it's us, we can do that, and we'd have to do that by motion.
May I respond, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
The answer is still yes, yes.
So-
If I may quickly just elaborate just for a moment, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
These are the city's charter schools. You have charters with the school district, and in the FSU case with the FSU in Tallahassee. You own the programs. It is your legal domain, as it were, and if there is a modification of whatever sort being now described in the agenda item, the commission has the inimicable right to make a decision based upon that which you have in the way of authority to make that decision on the dais this evening. If there's an error or a need for revision or clarity, you have the ultimate right and obligation, as it were, to make that change, which can be done this evening without having to send it back for further review.
So, Mayor,
in fact, as the governing board of the Pembroke Pines Charter School, it's the reason that this is in front of us.
Yes.
We get to approve these recommendations. Different school systems have different rules. So in the Broward County school system, they have direction to teachers that when they have a particular type of incident, they are to report it. There are some things that are within their purview and certain things that they are precluded from being involved in. They need to bring those to the attention of the proper authorities within the school. However, this is the recommendation that we have from our principals. Is that correct? Is there someone from the charter schools that's here to speak about our disciplinary part? Mr. Bonilla?
And Mayor, at the appropriate time, my motion would be to strike any reference to the Promise Program in our documents that have already been approved by the advisory boards.
So the Promise Program, talk a little bit about the Promise Program and what it does.
Well, good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. Assistant City Manager, Assistant Superintendent Jonathan Bonilla. I'll probably be asking Mr. Baer to come in. He's the expert in regards to that. But just a point of clarification, I know that our student parent handbook for our academic village references the program, but in the reference, it says that the City of Pembroke Pines Charter High School students are not eligible for the Promise program. This program has been sunsetted as of late 2023, so therefore we do not participate in that, but we will definitely be moving forward with striking that entire sentence from future documents as we move forward. Can you explain a little bit as to the...
Yeah, it's something we, Peter Barrett, principal of Pembroke Pines Charter High School. The Promise program was initiated by Broward County Schools. It wasn't something we ever used or was eligible for. They decided after several years of trying it, it wasn't a good thing, and it's now defunct. But in our handbook, we always made the point that it wasn't something we were doing. It wasn't because we didn't want any confusion for parents who might have a student at a county school and also some in our charter school. So we just wanted to make that bright line. But they're not doing it anymore, so there's no reason for it to be in there.
So for the sake of clarity, please, or if someone from police wants to do it, describe what the Promise program is.
It was like an alternate to suspension program that they would send kids to, and it just didn't work out in the way they intended it. We didn't believe it would work out that way to begin with, so we were happy not to participate. I think at the time we even had conversations with Pembroke Pines PD, and they agreed with us that this was not a program that they wanted to support as well, because rather than solve a problem, they felt it was going to create more of a problem, and apparently it looks like it did. So they don't do it anymore.
Why in particular did the language remain in?
I think it was just an oversight, but it wasn't a huge oversight because no matter what, if anybody came back to it and says, "Why don't we bring this back?" It was clearly still in our handbook saying we're not doing it.
So there's no objection to the motion?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Commissioner Schwartz?
That's my motion, to go ahead and strike any reference to the Promise program as based on testimony and city attorney.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion? Second. It's seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion on the amendment? Any from the public? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, the word striking, although accurate, would be better said to be removed and deleted from the document.
Yes.
Even better. I think that's what
Mayor.
I said. Yeah.
I think that was the
intent of
the motion.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, so now we have a motion before us as amended. Is there any further discussion on that?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make a comment.
Yeah.
I probably should have made it just a minute ago, but in reference to the Promise program, I just want to make it clear that it's sort of a matter of opinion on whether it was successful or not. I personally have good knowledge of people who have utilized that program. The parents had an alternative for their children to get in a little trouble. Instead of them having a record for the rest of their life for doing something stupid, they were given an alternative to keep their record clean and allow them to be aware of what that behavior and the consequences were. And the parents, I can't begin to tell you, the ones that I know that had actually had their children participate in that program, couldn't be more thankful for protecting the future of their children. And so the Promise program was terminated for a particular reason, and I don't think it was necessarily because it didn't work. I think it was for other reasons, and I just don't want the Promise program to be remembered as something that didn't work because it did work.
And yet civil citation still exists. Chief, is that correct? Youth civil citations still exists?
They do.
So there are other alternatives for issues that might cross that line, short of an actual arrest. But the motion's been made, and
May
yes.
I add something to it? I was just looking at something. Although that sunsetted, the parts that were working the counseling and additional services for the students did remain.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the good parts of the program remained. It just, parts of it were taken away.
Okay, so you got a motion as amended. Was there a motion on that?
There was a motion, Mayor.
Who made the motion? Commissioner Schwartz?
I moved it, and I believe Commissioner Rodriguez.
And Commissioner Rodriguez has seconded.
Correct.
Any further discussion on the motion as amended? Any from the public? Seeing none, All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Item number 34. Commissioner Good. And before we proceed, Commissioner, if you will allow me just very, very briefly, we passed item 19 as part of regular agenda. This is a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Pembroke Pines and the Broward Teachers Union. Pembroke Pines Charter Schools has the distinction now, with that passage, of having the third highest starting teacher salary in the state of Florida. And that is a distinction that we should be very, very proud of because it's something we've worked very, very hard to do. I wish we could do even better, but the money isn't there. But we have kept true to our word that the second we could, we would reward our teachers well, and it gives me great, great pride to know that we're the third best, and hopefully we'll be the first best someday. So thank you very much. Commissioner, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Item 34.
I think that was well said, what you just did, Mr. Mayor. Item 34 is motion to rescind the award to V Engineering Corp. as approved at the August 26, 2025 meeting, and to award a contract to Acosta Tractors Incorporated to provide the construction of traffic calming measures at Pines Village in the amount not to exceed $478,006.66, utilizing pricing established by the City of Cutler Bay in the ITB number 2310 pursuant to section 35.18-C-5 of the City Code of Ordinances.
Is there a second to the item? Seconded by Commissioner Schwartz. Commissioner Good, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, this was a really difficult decision for me to pull this item because it certainly seems to provide a benefit, but I think that a lot of things have happened, and I'm going to ask my colleagues in a minute to support a motion that I'm going to make. Mr. Mayor, if we can have staff just kind of give us a quick history on how these locations in Pines Village were determined in regards to receiving the roundabouts.
Certainly, Mr. Dodge.
Carl is here. There had been community meetings, and part of these were prior to the strategic plan, and some of them are included. The one modification here, of course, is the one that we're holding off on because Broward County Utilities has not completed their work. But Carl, if you could explain that, please.
Mr. Kennedy. You'll need to put the mic on, sir. Yes.
Good evening, Carl Kennedy, City Engineer. Yes, we had, Mike had, in the planning department, along with the engineering, had studied the area and determined where we could possibly put roundabouts and traffic circles, or traffic circles, and the road diets. We looked at a variety of different locations, and the ones that made the most sense on the roads that appear to have the most cut-through traffic, those were the areas we picked. We had come up with those, I think, about 4 years ago.
Mike Stamis, the city manager. Commissioner Good, you may remember this. We did a survey back in that community many years ago.
Can you please make specific reference to the year? Yes, I am familiar, but my colleagues need to
I want to say the first survey was back in 2014, if I remember correctly. We had a bunch of community meetings back then. When we looked at the locations for the road diets and the roundabouts, we looked at a couple things. We looked at the location of the existing driveways. We looked where we had the spacing between driveways, where we could put have enough room to have the road diet so that the vehicles wouldn't travel into someone's yard and driveway. The locations of the circles were some of the wider intersections that we had where we didn't have some of those driveways that expanded on their own over time, over the last 30 years. So the locations that were picked, they were strategic with both traffic and also in terms of what the existing infrastructure looked like.
So thank you. So essentially then, the community was connected with 2014, and then there were locations that were determined then, and today we are in 2026. And so for me, I just have two issues, and I'm not opposed to things here. I just want to be a little bit cautious about some things that I'm very familiar with. I mean, you are aware I'm very, I am very understanding of what the needs are in that community when it comes to traffic. I can tell you that they just recently had a meeting, and when the reference of doing a roundabout at a location, you would think everybody would jump up and down with glee, and that didn't happen. There was some okay, but some people are still a little bit really concerned about the entire community, because we're talking about a roundabout in a single location in that community. And to my colleagues, we just recently added additional dollars to the strategic plan for traffic. And those additional dollars were specifically geared towards a traffic study, for traffic calming within the communities, not on the main drags. But this is the exact kind of community that was being referenced at the meeting, of where those additional dollars would be allocated to. So here it is, we have something that occurred 12 years ago in terms of making a determination of locations. And then we got complicated with the fact that the south half of that community is currently under a Broward County construction. And that's part of what's being explained in this item. So originally there were 2 roundabouts. Now it's reduced down to 1 because the other one is still in the area of construction by Broward County. We have additional dollars that were established for a traffic study, and I'd like to have an opportunity to have a little bit more dialogue with staff and talk about how we can kind of merge these two, because the one thing that strikes me really is the dollar value that was initially for the 2 roundabouts was $750,000 approximately. Of course, we couldn't get closure to that contract, so now we went out and got another contractor, and so they could only do the one, because I understand you can't do the second one while they're in construction, but certainly sounds like a potential opportunity to work with the county to get a change order that before they repave all those roads, and while they're doing all that construction, that you actually do the install while they're doing the construction, not wait until they're done, repave the road, and then us go and rip it back up in order to do an install. And then there's the other issue about the traffic study. And the traffic study, I honestly believe, is going to identify other locations because they're going to use tools, right? They're going to use traffic counters. They're going to use other type of methodologies to identify flow of traffic, volume of traffic, speed of traffic, and I don't know that right now is something that we should just go ahead and say, yeah, let's just hurry up and get that done. I know that I need something in that community, but it's $478,000. It almost eats up the entire amount of the $750. And then the question is money going to be available later on when the county completes their project? I mean, we haven't designated any additional dollars. These are dollars that are, I guess, currently being held. They've been held over, I'm assuming, and there's not even enough for a second one in accordance with this price. So to my colleagues, I'd like to ask that we at least defer this until I get an opportunity to speak with staff to see if there's a way that we can align the study that was done way in the past, align the study that's coming forward, because we can still do a traffic study on that half of that community that has been completed and identify, what the traffic results are, what the study results are. And so maybe they might say, you'll get a better bang out of the buck by not putting a circle there, but putting a couple of these other traffic calming devices in the community at these other locations. So, I mean, we're making a decision on something from 2014 that I think now we got an opportunity to do something more current.
Mayor, if I may add.
Yeah.
As you all know, we also did the Transportation Master Plan, and these were evaluated as part of the Transportation Master Plan and as part of that proposal also. You know, the community had identified roads that they felt, back in 2014, we had a 60% response rate during that survey. And we had to delay because we started the water sewer projects in there, which pushed this back. And it's completely understood that dynamics change over time, but we reiterated it again when we did the Transportation Master Plan.
What year was that?
That was 2021? 21, I
Yeah,
think
but
we
that
finally
traffic
put forward.
plan did not go into the neighborhoods, though.
Well,
It
the
did-
master plan did look at, remember, it was a broad view of the entire city and provided a scope and I think they used the word kit of parts in terms of.
But just realize that we were talking about a more in-depth
Oh, no,
traffic
absolutely.
study in
Yeah,
the community,
Mike,
which is quite different than the master plan that you
I
spoke
think that
to.
what you're saying, which makes sense, is a little bit different than what I hear Commissioner Good saying. I know that there'll be a motion to defer it. At least it sounds like a motion to defer is coming, and I intend to support it. I'm sort of hoping that this does come in for a landing because this community has been, as you know, Commissioner, complaining about speeding and traffic forever. And frankly, this dais, we had something of an extended lost weekend for a number of years when it came to capital projects. And now there's a renewed effort to move forward with the basic infrastructure needs that have long been deferred. And this community is certainly one that has needed it. And I think that if what we need is a deferral in order to nail this down and get it right, I think that's fine. I'm sort of disappointed that the opportunity didn't come up. I'm not pointing fingers or anything like that. I'm just sort of disappointed that the item came to the agenda before it was ripe with the district commissioner. And I'm thinking that in the future we should work a little harder to make sure that that's not the case. But that having been said, if you want to make a motion to defer, I'm certain that we can do that. When did you want to bring this back? At our next meeting? At our February meeting?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to at least have the opportunity to present this to the community because I do know that in January they will have another community meeting. And I think it's a great opportunity for staff to make that presentation to them, not just with the roundabout, but also about the study and give an opportunity for some input there.
Okay, so
Are you asking for what, first week of
First week of
meeting
February?
in February?
I'm just asking for a deferral for right now.
Before you make the motion, I want to call off debate if you go for time certain.
Okay.
Okay.
So I also don't want to cut you off either, but I'd just like to be able to weigh in before you make the motion.
Okay, go right ahead, Commissioner.
So I recall the roundabout in the community being discussed just before COVID. In between the 2014 and the 2021, there was the Streetscape 2.0, and we were going to do landscaping. I know there was at least one of them. I thought it was on 68th. I may be wrong. And then we got whacked with COVID, and then City Manager Dodge had to dip into reserves in order to have a road and bridge fund in order to balance the budget because of all the gas tax that went away because no one was driving during the pandemic. So we had a tidal wave of capital road improvement that came to a grinding halt. A major project in District 2 has been swallowed up by those events. And so the roundabout was always first, and then District 2 was going to get that second project. So when I say I've had my eye on this ball, it's because I've wanted the Pines Village to get the relief that they wanted, that they need. And the moment that this gets resolved, then I know that District 2 is going to has a project that's in line based upon, Mayor, when we were out at the Chapel Trail trailer years ago when Denton made the presentation. So this goes way, way, way back. So I've been anxiously waiting for the slow grind of construction to finally, the flowers to come out of the ground. Now, I agree with Commissioner Good. It would be fiscally irresponsible for us to dig up a county project to install. I mean, but this is what happens when there's an opportunity for a district county commissioner to work with the cities that they represent so we can coordinate these things. Finally, Mr. Dodge, my colleagues should have had advance notice that this thing was coming before it even was printed or even put into the agenda box to be distributed. We've got to get better of big things like this, knowing that we've been talking about it for a decade. Not to blindside an elected official with an agenda and then have to respond to it when residents are calling, going, what's up with this? I need to get more information. It's unfair. It's unfair to Commissioner Good. It would be unfair to any one of us if it was the shoe was on the other foot. So can we get better in 26 and have a little bit better communication? Get the district commissioner involved, because trust me, they know what's happening within their district. I'll be happy to defer how much time you need, Commissioner Good. I'm happy to support you, knowing that get it done because I got something coming in too. As soon as you're done, I've got something right behind it. Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else want to speak before Commissioner makes his motion? Hearing none. Commissioner Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to make it clear. I'm thankful that we're trying to get projects into these communities. So please don't misunderstand the point that I'm trying to make here. I just want to try to tie in, a few of these ends that might be able to make some synergies out of what the end goal is. And so, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to defer this, and I don't want to necessarily give it a date specific, only because I like for the community to hear it, and then I'd like to have an opportunity to speak with staff, and I'd like to know, and it's going to be contingent too upon what have they've done with the acquisition of the vendor who's going to do the study. I don't know what that scope of work is yet, too, and I think that's very important. So I think the feedback from the community, us having a little bit more conversation with staff, and understanding what that scope of work is going to be with the study for the traffic calming. So I just like to defer the item until those three items are at least touched on.
Is there a second to the motion? Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on the motion is made?
I have a question as to, and for you all, when is the county supposed to finish up their work?
Approximately 2 years complete.
2 years, okay. So would that give us enough time to go through this work? Because I agree on the point that we don't want them to repave everything and then us go in and break it apart and fix it up again. And so then would we have enough time? Like, obviously, let's get this in a speedy process, but I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to go in while, they're working on it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had approached the county when they started the project, and they refused to let us piggyback on their contract to have the contractor do stuff for us. We're looking at sidewalks and the roundabouts. So, but we'll approach the county again.
Okay.
And I think too that Commissioner Schwartz made a very good point about the county commissioner participating in this, and I don't mind having that conversation with the county commissioner to talk with the county staff, if that's helpful.
I'm sure she will be more than helpful when you contact her. Okay, anything further on the motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just a question for Commissioner Good to make sure the record is clear and reflects his intention. The main motion, which has now been offered up as a substitute by yourself and seconded, is to defer the matter for a time certain to the future based upon certain facts that you've asked to be considered by the
As I
staff.
understand the motion, the item is unchanged. He's simply deferring it.
Okay, so any legal action regarding a motion to rescind is essentially stayed by the motion to defer.
correct.
Robert's Rules inquiry. Mayor, is there a difference in deferring versus tabling? Meaning that if it, in my view, if it's tabled, that means that we can bring it back. We control that, bringing it back, and I think it would give Commissioner Good actually a little bit more control over the item to place it back on the agenda as is versus having to go through whatever the steps would necessarily be in a deferral standpoint. I think
Placing an item on the table simply moves on without taking any action. That is not the motion that Commissioner Good has made. The motion Commissioner Good has made is to defer the item. He is not comfortable yet with a time frame. He has laid out certain assignments that he wishes to carry out before the item comes back. And it is for us to cast our vote, trusting in the commissioner,
Sure.
that he will complete those assignments and bring it back at the point that he feels it's ready.
would I want to talk in third person, Commissioner Good. Would you mind providing us an update as the chain of events meet your satisfaction?
I think that's for the city manager to do.
I think that because I'm going to be working with staff, I think
Yes,
that's
correct.
an appropriate thing for staff to continue. to
Okay,
provide us
anything
updates.
further on the motion to defer?
And Mayor, just if I can,
Yes.
with those substantive issues that Commissioner Good has offered up on the record this evening, any and all action that was considered by the main motion is essentially legally stayed, and the deferral prevails as a substitute motion.
So may I ask the city manager, would you mind updating the commission at least once a month during your report to let us know where things are at with respect to where things are going?
I understand.
Once I've had an opportunity to meet the commissioner, we come to.
At least once a month, at your discretion, you pick the meeting, but just so that we're advised.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Thank you very much. That concludes the consent agenda. Item 35, second reading.
Thank you, Mayor.
There are no addendums, correct, Mr. Clerk? There are no addendum items? You had a couple-
There was one addendum item, but it's another resolution.
I'm sorry?
It's a resolution.
Where is it?
It's
now in the revised agenda.
It's in the revised agenda, so it's
Okay,
in order.
So we haven't gotten to it yet?
No.
Okay, but it's in there. Okay, thank you very much. Second reading, city attorney, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 35, on the record, if you will, is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 2025-16 on second and final reading. Proposed ordinance number 2025-16 is an ordinance of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, which amends Chapter 35 of the city's Code of Ordinances entitled Procurement, Procedures, Public Funds, providing for comprehensive revisions to the city's procurement procedures as detailed in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, specifically amending procurement threshold requiring commission approval, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is a public hearing, Mayor and Commission, on the revised proposed ordinance number 2025-16 on the floor for consideration. Thank you, Mayor and Commission.
Thank you
Number
very
35.
much. On second reading, a motion, please.
Motion made.
Motion's made by Commissioner Rodriguez. Is there a second? Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on the item?
Mayor, I'd like to weigh in.
Yes, go right ahead.
I'll be brief. Speaking with residents, they watched back first reading. The threshold, they believe is too high. and the splitting of bids have not been properly answered. I can't support this on second reading.
Okay. I just want to say for the record that I too have spoken to residents, and they have told me, thank you very much. It's long overdue, about time that the city comes into a new century of doing business. And they're very, very excited that we're going to be cutting the red tape at this city hall and moving projects faster to get them the things that they need without any loss of integrity or internal control. And they're very excited about it, and so am I. Any further discussion on the item? Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll, please? Second reading.
Commissioner Rodriguez? Yes. Vice Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
No.
Commissioner Good?
Yes.
Mayor Castillo?
Yes, and by your vote, this is a law. I'll be signing it next week. Thank you very much.
For the record, Mayor and
And
Commission.
I want to commend the staff for your hard work, and the city attorney, and Mr. Dodge, Mr. Gomes, and your fine award-winning staff. Thank you all very, very, very much.
Mayor and Commission, the permit number is 205 for the public record.
Okay,
36.
we can scratch that one off. Number 36.
Check the box. 36, Mayor and Commission, is a motion to adopt proposed ordinance number 2025-17 on second and final reading, which is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, pertaining to the subject of zoning and land development, amending Chapter 155 of the City of Pembroke Pines Code of Ordinances to update provisions, delete provisions that have expired, have become obsolete, have had their effect, and have served their purpose, or have been impliedly repealed or superseded, replacing incorrect cross-references and citations, correcting grammatical, typographical, and like errors, removing inconsistencies, redundancies, and unnecessary repetition in this chapter, and improving the clarity of the chapter and facilitating their correct interpretations, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and finally providing for an effective date. Item number 36, ordinance proposed 2025-17 on the floor for consideration for you, Mayor and Commission. Thank you, Mayor.
I will move it.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Any from the public? The clerk will call the roll.
Vice Mayor Hernandez?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes.
Commissioner Good?
Yes.
Mayor Castillo?
Yes, and by your vote, this is a law, and I will be signing it next week.
For the record, Mayor and Commission, permanent number for the public record is 2056. Mr. Clerk, 2056.
Thank you very much. Resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Number 37 is a resolution proposed. Motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R-34, which is a proposed resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, approving the memorandum of agreement that's referred to as an MOA between the city and the state of Florida, Department of Transportation, that's references the FDOT, for the widening of Pembroke Road project, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Item 37 on the floor, which is the proposed resolution 2025-R-34. Thank you, Mayor and Commission.
A motion?
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Commissioner Rodriguez. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion on this item?
Yes.
Yes, well, I'm going to get to you in a second.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I do. I just, you know, I know that the community is here to talk about this, and I like to just ask the city attorney to just reiterate the concern about the ownership of the land that we have, which is the park.
Yes. May I respond, Mr. Mayor?
Please.
In recent meetings, Commissioner Good has asserted his concern for the quality of title of the land held and owned by the City of Pembroke Pines, whatever its interest has been. And the Commissioner and I have had some conversations in the recent past about that, and allow me just to elaborate for a few moments of time to clarify what that means. In the overnight Monday memo, the Commissioner rightfully asked the question whether or not the city derived its title and has what is referred to as a fee simple deed. The answer is the city does not have a fee simple deed and was not conveyed this property by fee simple deed. And for that purpose, the quality of ownership that was obtained by the city came through the dedication by plat. What does that mean to you all sitting on the dais? Under Florida law, if a property owner indicates by a plat dedication the deliverance of an interest in property by the plat as opposed to by deed, it must be accepted by the local government, which in this case was the city, and under the county charter was accepted by the county commission and approved as a plat, thereby allowing the land in question to be owned, and that's just a general term, but the right of ownership or the control of ownership via that method. So the consequence of which is that the city has an ownership interest, but it's not defined by a fee simple deed. It's defined by the plat statute. Chapter 177 is in Florida statutes. The prior city commissions accepted that back in the day. Whether Levitt Homes might have become a dissolved company does not matter, because what mattered was at the time of that dedication, that property was dedicated for recreational uses, and that is a matter of public record. I can speak to the issue of the other association property, but that's not the question.
No, that's not the question right now.
The commissioner has a question about this property and this land, and he and I agree that the city did not derive its title by a fee simple deed or by a warranty deed that conveyed title. That's correct.
Right. And so the action that we are actually looking to do tonight is to quit claim any rights that we might have to that portion of the land. Is that correct?
Generally, yes. There's a second part of it, which is either vacation or quitclaim, whatever the appropriate tack to take would be. But they both have the same implication here. Right. You're right.
So basically, because our conversation was a bit more along the lines of, though we don't have the warranty deed, though there might, we don't even know if there is, if it even exists. Right? Correct. And the question is, if you just quit claim or vacate the dedication, and if somebody all of a sudden popped up with this fee simple title, our effort would have been voided anyways because somebody actually owned the land. We would just give up the right to being able to use it for recreational facilities, right?
Whatever, that is correct.
We just walk away from it. We have no more responsibility to it
You make
whatsoever.
no warranties, you make no representations, you make no guarantees.
Right.
That is correct.
So that's the key thing that I just
can't
wanted
make
to have,
those
have clearly understood,
Yes.
is that we are vacating a plat, or we're quit claiming
Or portion.
any rights to anything that we
Correct.
have in that special. And that's what we're doing. And I'm not speaking to any particular who is going to get it, but we're just going to walk away.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
Mr.
nor
Mayor,
could I allow anyone on the commission to make a representation that's not accurate, and that's why you raised the issue.
Okay, so I just wanted to get that clear. So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, follow up once the public has an opportunity to speak on this here.
Okay, so I saw one gentleman raise his hand. Mr. Straley and Mr. Card had already submitted forms. Why don't we call the gentleman first, if you can come down? And there's a button there, if you could press it, that says speak. And your name and address for the record, please.
Okay. My name is Kevin Foster. My address is 1010 Southwest 88th Way, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33025.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My question is this. I understand that with the widening of Pembroke Road, obviously the road is going to be closer to the residents' houses. There's going to be more traffic, which is why you're putting up a sound wall. I would ask that the other side of our community, which is right on Douglas, have a sound wall as well, because that road is, if not as loud as Pembroke Road, but maybe even louder. We have basically the little wall that's here, the sidewalk, and a little piece of grass, and then Douglas Road. The other part of the equation of why I'm asking for a sound wall, if that's possible, is because, as you know, Memorial is expanding their facility right down the street, which is going to increase more traffic, more ambulances and emergency vehicles, which will ultimately increase the noise. I live right on Douglas Road, and I've been there for 10 years, and it's, we hear everybody speeding by, we hear all the emergency vehicles, and that's only going to get worse. So I feel like if there's an opportunity to put the sound walls on the Pembroke Road side because of the widening, we should facilitate a study for the Douglas side as well to see if we can also have a sound wall over there as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak from the public? Is FDOT present? Thank you very much. Maybe you want to speak to this gentleman about what your wall plans are. Did you want to speak? All right. There's a button there that says speak.
Hello, good evening. Claudia Vinitsky-Calvo, FDOT PM for the Pembroke Road project. In regards to putting a noise wall on Douglas Road, there is a noise study that goes along with the noise wall, and we are doing that on Pembroke Road because those are the extent of the limits of our project. Beyond the extent of the limits of our project, it would be a separate project for a separate analysis that we would not be able to accommodate under this Pembroke Road project. And I'll also know that the noise wall criteria study that gets done, this is through federal funding, so there's a lot that goes along with it. It's not just a simple perimeter wall as there is on the south side of Pembroke Road. So for a noise wall, there's specific criteria. That's
Okay,
just the point.
thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? Commissioner Good.
All right, so I guess, Stephen, are you guys going to have are you guys going to speak on this item?
All right, so Steve Card, Honeywoods, 1120 Southwest 87th Avenue, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33025. Really don't have much, given the topic of this tonight, and now that it's just on the city park side, we really don't have much to say. I'll let the attorney kind of mimic that. The sound wall is obviously something we're still working through, and I know that he was discussing some photographs and some terms that we're trying to get to. I want to thank Commissioner Good for coming out to the property and meeting with us and getting the police department to come out and do and I don't remember the acronym, but a security basically evaluation and make the recommendations of where they think that wall should be placed. I think that's been resolved. I know we're going to have some communication going forward, and the attorney is working on that with DOT. They just recently had a meeting. Beyond that, as long as we can keep those lines of communication open and collaboration, and there's consideration given to the association, I think we're in a better place. It sounds like we're in a better place, and I appreciate the commission's giving us the time to get through the land ownership stuff and all that. So, but thank you.
That was our pleasure. Mr. Straley, did you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
If I may, before you leave, so what you are all in discussion with right now is essentially, the project, how it fits your community, how it doesn't, take away from the quality of life, the people that live along that roadway and things. And in your negotiations, I know it's all about the land and the land that's necessary, and I understand that there's potential that you're even willing to give land in order to get the project to be in conformance with what your community has expressed is necessary to make it an acceptable project for them forever and ever and ever, right?
Yes.
So it's very important for this question. So you are willing to give property at no cost or at a cost?
I'll let the attorney speak to that.
I don't believe we're at that point yet. We're negotiating the overall situation, so I'm not sure we're prepared to really discuss that tonight. That's obviously different than what is being brought before you at the moment, and we're in active negotiations with DOT, including a meeting we had this week.
So so where I'm getting to is there's a sense of fairness that's happening now, right? That's how it started.
Yes.
And then it got kind of off the rails.
Yes.
And now it seems that we're a little bit back there. And my interest is to keep that fairness alive.
Absolutely.
So recognizing that, this land is, still kind of uncertain. And I asked the attorney, what is it that we're giving up a right to? And now the next question I'm going to ask the attorney, Mr. Mayor, if I may, is do we have to vacate or quit claim to DOT? Can we not vacate and quit claim to the HOA that piece of property?
That for me, Mr. Mayor?
I believe so.
Okay, the answer is yes, you could, theoretically. If the commission, if you vacate the roadway, if I may, Mr. Mayor, just quickly, you essentially take public action to release that property from any interest the city may have by the dedication. And it then, by vacation, it vests in abutting property owners, as the case may be. If you were to quit claim the city's interest and simply convey it to the association, that's certainly legally possible to simply say whatever we have, whatever interest the city has, you have it and you can deal with it. That's also an option. It is a small parcel, maybe long, but it's not a huge piece of land, but it is a piece of land. It has value. I don't know, I can't yet, sitting here, ascribe a value to it, but the city would have to consider, I would think, by the vacation or by the conveyancing by quitclaim deed, that there is a sense of value that's being provided to the HOA by providing it, if that's what the commission chose to do. But it could legally be done.
Okay. So so in the item, the letter we received from DOT, they're basically asking us to get into an MOU or MOA with them.
Yes.
And of course, if we don't do it, then they're going to litigate us in order to get us to vacate. But if we already vacate and it's no longer ours, then we are no longer a threat to a litigation. Is that correct?
That would be correct. If the city divested its ownership, whatever legal interest it had to the HOA, it would no longer have an interest. That's correct.
Okay. So I guess where I'm going to my colleagues is, is another element to assist the HOA to get to their, to get the help they need to get closure for their, for this project to be, next to their community, is to give them that land, and for them, once they get everything resolved, is then they can give that land to DOT at no cost. There's no, it would be giving land, giving you the rights to that piece of property, and then you guys would have to fight through anything that would have to be necessary. But once you get a resolution, that you then can convey that land over to the DOT at no cost. And so my interest would be to ask my colleagues for support to give to quit claim that piece of property to the HOA as opposed to DOT, and let them just take that whole DOT project on.
Commissioner, we weren't aware the city had the ability and would consider divesting to us, and if that is the case, we would certainly appreciate that, and we would then have the land that I think originally came to Levitt Builders, and then we would work with DOT and make a fair arrangement with them at that time. So if the city were willing to divest, then certainly our association would accept the land.
And once you get everything resolved, it would be at no cost. conveyance to the DOT. Correct.
It would be part of the package that we negotiate with them as far as the entire, whether there's a donation, whether, there's an entire package that we're negotiating with them at this time.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
But this piece would have to be at a no-cost conveyance.
If that's what you vote and tell us, then that's what it would be, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so I don't know, is there any other conversation on this here?
Yeah, I have to tell you that I don't feel prepared to discuss this. This is a monumental change in what the item was as printed. And this is precisely the kind of change that thing that I was looking from the start of my mayoralty to avoid at city commission meetings. I'm totally unprepared to have this conversation. This is a total departure from what the item was supposed to be. This is the Pembroke Road widening project. We have a fiduciary duty to every resident in the city to do that. We have gone to great lengths to assist this HOA because they have been frustrated about a parcel of land that their developer left without an owner. And we gave them time to go and perfect their title. And they went and they perfected their title. And no time did we talk about taking a land that we own and converting it to them. And we have no right to tell them that once it's theirs that they can't sell it. If they choose to sell it, despite whatever they say here, they have every right to do that. I can't be part of that. So what I'm prepared to do is I'm prepared to approve this item. They have already thanked us for that. They weren't looking for this concession. And allow FDOT to take their land, allow them to negotiate whatever it is that they're going to do with their land. But I am very uncomfortable out of the blue entertaining a motion of that nature.
So I understand that then. And of course you recognize that, as you work through problems, you come upon new facts, new information. And so, the information that I'm sharing with you all tonight wasn't available at the time. And so I'm sharing that now. And we're talking about, yes, traffic for within the city, but we're also talking about the impacts to the communities. And there are many other incidences where we as a commission have turned down projects because of the negative impact to the communities.
Yes, sir.
And
we've never once given away property that they could or couldn't sell for a profit. That's just not something I'm prepared to do without any notice. And frankly, I believe it's a bridge too far.
Well, if
from my vote,
okay,
I mean, that's up to you all.
I understand.
I don't know that I could go there.
And I'm just trying to respond back to you that if this is, if we're unprepared to have this conversation, if we're not certain of the decision that we're making, then maybe we can put it off until the attorney can give us the advisement. Can we convey the land in such a way that they do not benefit financially from it when it gets conveyed back over to DOT? And ask any of the other questions that would help us be prepared for this.
DOT? Yes.
Give them the mic, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that the right-of-way MOA that we're seeking approval today is to represent the city of Pembroke Pines. We are not committing to where the noise wall will be placed. We're still in the process of negotiating with them. We do need right-of-way in order to widen the road. And the right-of-way all the way to the proposed back of sidewalk, wherever the area where the HOA is an owner of, they will be, there will be some negotiation.
Well, let me just, I want to emphasize that the
Ma'am,
memorandum
please
of
tell the
agreement.
record who you
Oh,
are.
sorry.
So that, thank you.
I'm a little tall, sorry.
Thank you very much.
I would like to, there?
He needs her name.
Oh, Stephanie Gonzalez, sorry. I'm with Right of Way. I'm here in behalf of Christina Brown. My apologies, I didn't hear you. I want to emphasize that the MOA allows us to purchase property, land for the project on behalf of the city. And without the MOA, we cannot do so. We can't go through the acquisition process. We can't make offers. We can't go through condemnation. So if we delay this any longer, it's possibly going to delay our schedule, as well as maybe even the project, like Christina mentioned before, not occurring. So that is one of the repercussions that I would hesitate in not moving forward and take into consideration.
And if I may, Mr. Mayor, I just want to, I don't disagree with the fact that your office and your department has an urgency to get this done. But I do know that in the work plan, you have 2 years for acquisition. So you have still a lot of time available in regards to the acquisition of what you're making reference to.
Right, so our production is August of 2027, so that's under 2 years right now, to meet our production schedule. And so we just need to have this signed to be able to represent you and continue with the right-of-way process, because at one point we have to stall and we cannot go ahead and proceed with everything. That's Stephanie.
So based off of production scheduling, we need to certify by January, right?
Yeah, it's before August.
January 2027. Before, I'm sorry.
August 2027 is production, 100% plans.
Okay. So we need about, right now the schedule is pretty tight, and we need about a year. That is a expedited schedule, a short schedule, in order to do all the proceedings. So whether that is we settle through the acquisition process or we go into condemnation. So we do need time, and in order to get an OT date, to order of taking date, that takes some time with the court system. So keep that in mind, that we do have a schedule and we have dates that we have to meet in order to meet that schedule.
And so what we do with our rights to this property, if we vest it over to the HOA, it doesn't change any of your schedule because you're still having to negotiate with the property. I don't quite understand what you made reference to, if I may, I'm sorry, about the MOA. Why do we need to sign an MOA for you to acquire private property?
The MOA outlines what the city and the department agree upon. So without that, we can't move forward in acquiring property on your behalf. It's something that we need to have in place before we start making offers.
I was just going to say that we haven't received an appraisal or any idea of what they consider the value to be at this point. But you're saying that
we should be making offers by February. But if we delay this, we will have to delay offers.
If we delay what?
The MOA, the signing of the MOA.
Yeah, and if the intent is, and I'm not even sure how that would be enforced, that it would be a no-cost sale. I don't know what we achieved by undoing the plan, and if there's no money to be made on their end, I don't know what advantage is achieved. They have a piece of property that they own that is essential to their project that has nothing to do with this item, and yet we showed them through your leadership, Commissioner, and I commend you for it, that we were going to give them an opportunity. Even though their property was unrelated to this item, we gave them an opportunity to perfect their title of it, which they didn't have. Well, they have it now. This has nothing to do with that business. Nothing. This has to do with our right-of-way to proceed with a project that 2 cities require in order to alleviate traffic, and are approving this item doesn't put them in any worse position than they were in before. So I really think that we're, in my view, and I say this with great respect, we're overthinking this. I think that what we should just do is approve the resolution and support the HOA and FDOT figuring out a way to dispense with the HOA's property, which is in our purview and shouldn't be in our purview. That is quintessentially a private matter. City Attorney, do you see it that way?
The way, Mr. Mayor and Commission, the way that the item is set before the Commission, it's an MOA with the city and the department and provides for delivery of whatever ownership interest the city may have in this particular property to facilitate that is the department's process of designing and building the extension or modification to Pembroke Road. It is legally different than the HOA's issue, although they have relationships that are obviously been discussed this evening. There's absolutely a relationship, but they're not legally connected to the motion before the Commission.
And so, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I hear, and under normal conditions, I would be like right in line with where you're going. The concern for me is that I have been with this project since its beginning, since you've engaged the city to deal with the public and the community. And I agree that it started off exceptionally well, very pleasing, that I didn't have to engage a whole lot because it was a lot of natural things were happening. And then because of this whole issue about the land and the fact that, I know that you're in the land acquisition group, but it seems like it's a very common thing for developers to leave, close the LLC, not convey over, all the documentation, which is why they were able to get closure to it pretty quickly, because it's not uncommon. But for DOT to sit there and say, well, guess what? Because you don't own the land, we're done. We ain't talking no more. We're going to go pack it up and we're just going to take that land. And that's what is the fundamental principle here, which is why I'm asking the city to support the community, because they're the little fish. They're David with Goliath's shoe
Not
on their
anymore.
neck.
They're the landowner.
No.
But go ahead, make your motion.
But they're still going. Mr. Mayor, I'm trying to make a point very clear. My intention for this land is to ensure that they at least have something in their pocket that allows them to continue to hold a bit more of their advantage, so that they don't get lost again.
I think that that's a bridge too far ethically for me to cross. So you can make your motion. I respect your
Before
view.
you make a motion, I'd like to weigh in.
You go right ahead.
Go ahead.
I appreciate what you're doing. I really do. I mean, that is, there are some things as electeds that keep us up trying to find the solution. And it's maybe from one commission meeting to the next, maybe some dialogue. You took me back to 2013 to 2015, 2.5 years. 2.5 years, the longest development delay in our city's history was on University Drive next to the hospital. You weren't sitting here at the time. And I worked with the HOA, and I worked with the developer, and they were some really long nights. There were a lot of daggers thrown at me. But you know what came out of that discussion? There hasn't been one rental community built in the western side of the city as a result of that action. Because I dug in and I fought for the HOA, we now have boutique homeownership in West Pembroke Pines. And that was 11 years ago. When I see FDOT, and they're very nervous right now. They're very nervous. Because what government usually does is government conveys property to government so that they can have a uniform plan to do bids, because otherwise, if there's a little piece not fixed, they can't move forward. Had I made a motion 11 years ago to convey a right-of-way around Walnut Creek to Walnut Creek, Ventura Point never would have been built. They would have held that hammer, that leverage, because they just didn't want the project at all. And I think this is the reason why I'm having some great difficulty, because I want to support you, because you're doing the right thing. I'm looking at the bigger picture of what type of precedent it would set for this dais if we were to start conveying public land to HOAs. I think that is a step that is too far. Meanwhile, let me divulge what my thinking was since August. I had asked the HOA and their council a series of questions, and there were commitments, and those commitments were fulfilled. And I want to thank you for that. You went to work right away. But I wasn't feeling comfortable until I knew that I saw the court stamps and everything like that was done, because I informed the city administration and the city attorney that I was going to place an item on the agenda the first meeting of November to bring it back if there was no action on your side. But you held up your end of the bargain, so I didn't have to pull that lever. Okay? Because I believe in what you're trying to get done for your community and our community. Let's be honest, we're all neighbors anyway, right? There were members in your community supporting me 11 years ago on University Drive. You were there. I see this possible leverage as a precedent that I can't move on it, knowing that we're at the end of the line. Had this been considered 90 days ago, I think it would have given everyone an opportunity to at least take a look at it. But what we made a motion back in September for December 18th. That's when the meeting was supposed to be. That was the meeting it was going to happen. We're just a week early, 6 days early. So DOT is here 6 days earlier than they expected. So they have a 6-day start. Commissioner Good, I am with you, but I just can't be with you on this particular item. And I think it deserves more discussion on a separate agenda of what we're going to do with public land and how we're going to convey things to HOAs, if that will be a policy of the city of Pembroke Pines going forward. If I may, Mr. Card, and because we're going to wrap this up. This is some good. I appreciate what he's doing here. I do. Okay. What I would ask the association to do is put your best foot forward and give your best and final. And I'm asking DOT to do the same. Here's the thing. Whatever number they're asking for, they could probably ask for more, they could probably ask for less. But the state of Florida has plenty of money. Give them what they need. give them what they need. Because if we wait any longer, and who knows what's going to happen in November, and the homesteaded property, the governor, Mayor, I'm not going to go off the side on a second, but the governor made a public statement earlier this week, and I shared it with the city manager. I think it was a national morning show. What he wants to propose is no taxes on any homesteaded property in the state of Florida. And that would mean 70% of the city of Pembroke Pines wouldn't pay tax. That is something that Floridians will have an opportunity 10 months from now to decide what they want to do with that. But right now, the state of Florida has funds. I would say this: negotiate in good faith and put a deadline on when those negotiations are going to stop. And if you can't come to a deal, and I'm speaking to DOT, if you can't come to a resolution, then let them know where you're at with it. But we have to convey this property tonight. It's servicing 1.5 million people between Miramar Pines and Miami-Dade County. We have Pembroke Road that's going to be opening up. We have University that's being widened. We have Flamingo being widened. This is a major artery for all of us. It's going to be 2 years before the ribbon cutting. So I think there's an opportunity to continue the good work. I don't recall, Mayor, us ever letting the community down when it comes to sound walls. And I'm not giving up our leverage, FDOT. Okay, but we've put up some walls in this community.
Yes, we have.
Okay, and we've done it out of our own pocket. Some even question, why would you put it there? But we've done it. We've paid for SROs when other government didn't want to do it. We've built walls when other governments didn't want to do it. And who knows, maybe we're going to be doing cardiac assessments and giving people that opportunity too at some future point. But the city of Pembroke Pines, we lead, but we also put people together. So it's been a good 90 days, maybe 120 at this point. Okay, can we come to a conclusion by the middle of next month? I would really like to see that.
Thank you. Does any other commissioner wish to be heard on this item? We'll go back to Commissioner Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I hear the input, and I want to first say to my colleagues, thank you for allowing the time for some of this to get resolved. I saw an opportunity to ensure that there was consistency going forward with, how this is going. I understand that maybe right now I'm probably pushing a little bit more than what my colleagues are willing to agree to, but I want to make this clear to DOT. I mean, it can't walk away like it was before. You really need to come. I know everybody's not going to get everything they want, and I know that it's going to come to a final conclusion. But I want to make it clear that if this strays again, I'll be back again.
Yep.
And I will be asking my colleagues
Yep.
at that time to take something else into consideration.
Yep.
'Cause we really want this to be successful for everybody. And so I'm not going to make any motion today, Mr. Mayor. I just think it was very important for me to see if we could have done something else, but I'm not necessarily backing off the issue about conveying the land. It's that MOA issue that I am a little bit focused on, because I do understand a bit of that process. And so I don't want you to have to delay any information to be provided to the HOA to get that closure. So, Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you all for hearing me out. I thank you for your inputs, and I thank you all for being here, trying to get this to a resolution. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. We're back to the motion as presented. Does anyone else have anything to say on the motion, on the resolution? Hearing none. Any from the public? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. Good luck to you both. I think you heard the message loud and clear. I want to commend Commissioner Good for his work, and all of you for the work that you did. We hope never to have to revisit this.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, the permanent number is 3936 for those who
we
will
hope not.
Need that for their records.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Next item.
38, Mayor, if I may. Mayor and Commission, 38 is a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R45, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, approving the program year 2024 Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report. That's a lot of words for CAPER, C-A-P-E-R, for Community Development Block Grant Programs, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date, and a public hearings required by state and federal law. On item number 38 on the floor, 2025-R45.
The motion's made by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Rodriguez. Do you need a public hearing?
Yes, Mayor.
The public hearing is open. Does anyone wish to be heard on item 38, which is the Consolidated Annual Performance Plan, known as the CAPER, for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Community Development Block Grant? Does anyone wish to hear it? Be heard. Public hearing is closed. Is there any discussion on the dais? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously. 39.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, that's number 3937 for the record.
39.
37. Next up,
I'm
Mayor, if
sorry.
you will, is item number 39. Thank you. And 39 has been considered and approved by the Commission, which is number 3935. Next up is number 40, with your permission, Mayor. May I?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Number 40 is motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R48, which is a proposed resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, approving the potable water and wastewater services agreement with the town of Southwest Ranches, authorizing the city manager to execute the potable water and wastewater services agreement with 6903 Hancock Road, Lending LLC, as the owner of the residential property located at 6903 Hancock Road in the town of Southwest Ranches, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and for the record, providing for an effective date. Item number 40, 2025-R48 on the floor for consideration. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a motion on this item?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Good. Is there a second? Seconded by the Vice Mayor. If you don't mind, I'd like to, I understand this is a single-family home, Mr. Manager, is that correct?
That is correct.
And it's outside of the service area?
Excuse me, Mayor?
It's outside of the service area?
There is no service area. It's adjacent to another parcel of property in Southwest Ranches that
No,
we
what
already
I'm
serve.
saying, it's outside of the municipal service area?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I wish to read the following from the contract into the record. City's provision of water and wastewater services in the property shall be pursuant to this agreement and shall not constitute a utility or service area in the town of Southwest Ranches. If during the term of the agreement, the town shall modify, change, or alter the current land use and zoning for the property, then, in that event, under the provisions of Chapter 50 of the City Code, expressly prohibiting noxious uses, the city reserves unto itself and on behalf of its citizens and residents of the city the right to implement the terms, conditions, and provisions of ordinance number 2009 adopted by the mayor and the city commission on September 20th, 2023, which, if such action occurs, shall be deemed a material breach of this agreement. And in point 10.9, during the term of this agreement, the customer shall not permit the property to be used for a jail facility, immigration center, detention center, or for any residential or noxious purposes. Further, the customer shall not permit the property to be used or transferred into an incinerator or for incinerator ancillary uses as defined by the certain declaration of restricted covenants respectively recorded on January 29, 2024 in instrument number 119545107 and May 6, 2024 in instrument number 119558180. Does anyone else have anything to add to this item? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. And I
Director
read,
Mayor, that's number 3937.
I want it made clear. I've read this in connection with both items with our good friends in Southwest Ranches.
No,
Because anybody can be kicked by a horse once,
3937.
but it's inexcusable to be kicked by the same horse twice.
Next one's
So I want to make sure that everyone understands we are prepared to do business, but not under certain conditions. Item number 40 has been done. Addendum.
Addendum 1, Mayor.
Please read.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Addendum 1 is a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R49, which is a proposed resolution number 2025-R49, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, requesting Broward County Public Schools to release or amend the Educational Mitigation Tri-Party Agreement to comply with changes in state law and to eliminate the student station fees within the agreement, providing for transmittal, providing for conference, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Item number 2025-R49, which is addendum number 1, on the floor for consideration. Thank you, Mayor.
This is a resolution. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Good. Is there a second? I'll second the item. For discussion, it needs to be understood that this mitigation agreement was created many years ago to assist Broward schools to create new school seats. They are now in a situation where they are constrained from creating new school seats. It only applies to, City Attorney, correct me, it only applies to regional activity centers, correct?
Yes, sir.
We have a regional activity center here in City Center. There are still parcels that can be developed, and there are parcels that can be redeveloped here at the City Center site. We're currently bound by this agreement, which unfortunately has no termination date. However, in my discussions with the city attorney, it can be terminated because there's no such thing under the law as a perpetual agreement. Is that correct, Mr. City Attorney?
Could be determined to be what's called an illusory contract.
Right. So the cities that are affected by this have been going to the Planning Council individually to complain about this because it is now a barrier to economic development. And these funds, which the developers pay, was never meant to be a gift or a windfall, but an exchange for specific performance by the Broward County School Board to build additional seats, which they are not in the business of doing right now. As we know, lamentably, they are looking to close certain schools. They are in a redefinition, a reorganization based on the fact that they've lost so many students' seats. It could be that at some future time, they may want to create another agreement. But for the moment, any additional development that happens here, those developers will then have to deal with the burden of providing money via an agreement, which is actually not going to be used for its intended purpose. So I think that it's important for us to join our other cities. Every other city that is covered by this has sent a resolution to the school board saying we're encouraging you to terminate your agreement. And that's why this item is on. Is there any discussion? Any from the audience?
So, Mayor, to be clear, it's a resolution. We send it to the school district. They're the ones that have to take action after we send the resolution specific to Pembroke Pines and every city individually. Correct?
That's right.
Mr.
That's right.
City Attorney?
That's right. Now, Broward County, you should know, has already taken the step that they're not collecting the money anymore.
I'm sorry,
So-
That was my question,
sorry,
and I
Mr.
think the
Vice Mayor,
mayor may have
forgive me.
just answered it, but I wanted to make sure. We, as a city, send this resolution, the school district would have to take action.
Right,
Well, if I may, Mr. Mayor?
yes.
They should logistically and as a matter of intergovernmental coordination, should review it and respond to it. I can't know that they're going to do anything about it, but they have an obligation as a co-equal branch of government to consider your request.
Have you watched the school board meeting lately?
I would prefer not to answer that question.
Okay. I'll be, if my colleagues are supportive of the motion, that's fine. I'm going to put on the record that I, as the parent of 2 public school children, traditional public school children, am embarrassed with how this process is, and I don't have very much confidence in anything happening at the school district. However, I will support the resolution.
You should also know, I did not add, that the Attorney General wrote an opinion saying that there's, if the school board, if any school board doesn't have the intent of building new additional seats, this agreement is not enforceable. Is that correct, Ms. City Attorney?
The answer is we've read the state law. There's a bill passed this session, and oh, by the way, there's an Attorney General's opinion, which seems very clear on the subject matter.
If there's an Attorney General's opinion, does the school system have to take action on the resolutions that each and every city send, is what I'm trying to get at.
I'd like to believe in a perfect world that they would, but I can't suggest.
Yeah, it's a very imperfect world. Okay.
Well, have they taken action on the other ones sent over by the other cities?
I don't have an answer yet. I know there was a workshop, or
They had a workshop, and my understanding is that they are going to ask for the agreement to be amended to collect the money under some other premise, which would then require us, as I understand it, to have to entertain the amendment or the new agreement. I don't know. They want the money. I understand that they want the money, but the money's not a gift. The money is in exchange for specific performance, which is the building of new seats, which they're currently not in the business of doing. So, and yet, if we don't take action, anyone who comes to further develop our city center would be required to pay this fee, and it's a lot of money. It's millions of dollars. So, you know, Mr. Stam, did you want to say something?
Mike Stamis, the city manager. My staff, along with members of the city attorney's office who were in attendance at the meeting on Tuesday, the school board meeting, we listened for a couple hours about the discussion along this item. It was our hope that they were going to take some sort of action during that meeting. There was no action taken during that meeting except to create another working group to discuss the item. Hence why the item is before you today. To, again, urge our colleagues at the school board to take this action. The city of Oakland Park has the highest rate of all the cities, and the city manager there, Mr. Herbert, has been very active in terms of these conversations, trying to move this forward. He's been leading the charge, and the other cities have all reciprocated that the time is now to make this happen. Their city center project has been delayed
because of this.
Because of this, due to the rates and the fees. They've had developers walk away, and candidly, the school boards will, hey, show us the offers.
They can't build their city center because of
But they're doing their due diligence, so they're not going to make an offer because they see the number on the books that would take to build the units.
it's gotten out of control.
So here we are today. We do have units still available inside City Center. We do have a little bit of land still available inside City Center. And from an administration standpoint, this is a prudent step to get these documents removed or amended.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Quickly.
Commissioner Schwartz.
See, sometimes we have discussions up here and a bell goes off, so you have to ask the question. So, City Attorney, I'm pulling up when did the city, and in 2006, okay, I see it. Okay, very first thing.
Correct.
20 years ago.
The original agreement, yes.
Yes, 20 years ago.
There were trailers at Flanagan.
Yep.
I mean, let's be.
Now,
Hines Boulevard was only 3 lanes across and not 4.
Yep.
Look, this one may have, this may have been a slider or a curveball or something like that. I mean, maybe we should have looked at this a while back, but what I want to avoid is a 164, city attorney. I'm really, I don't have a palate to sue the school board of Broward County for not taking action or to ask a judge to enforce our ability to get out of a contract.
Well, right now,
I know, we're
looking
asking them to release us.
That's all we're asking for right now.
And we've also asked them for SRO assistance, and we've asked them for a lot of things over
Mhm.
the years. And there's only 2 letters that they ever use, and that's no. N-O, every time. No, no, no. So Dr. Hepburn has his hands full right now. I want to support Dr. Hepburn. This is something I think we can, I would like to get our school board members, the 2 at large and our district, at the next meeting, if we can invite them to the next meeting in January, and ask them to support this resolution. I'd like to have them on the record of which direction they're going to take individually for the city of Pembroke Pines. I'd like to, would that be a motion, Mayor, to invite the 3 school board members?
You can invite them after we pass the resolution. I think that they might say no.
Well,
but, you know, we can't force them to come to our
I'm not
meeting.
asking, I'm asking, can we direct the city manager to invite them? Can we do that?
I would be happy to invite them. Which ones would you like to invite?
The 2 at large and the District 2.
Yes, sir, we will do that.
Okay.
Mr. Dodge, if you can make a notation that we should, by email and letter, invite those 3 members to our next city commission meeting to talk about the resolution.
I want something collaborative and supportive. Like, I don't want an adversarial.
No.
You know, I don't want to, but we're looking at a contract that's 20 years old. So, that being said, that's really all my comments. I just want the public needs, the public is already concerned about 2 closures of schools that weren't quite really on the list. Then they're taking some action in January as well on that. So maybe when they come at the first meeting, January 7th, they can allude to the likelihood of 2 schools in Pembroke Pines closing.
We could ask them additional questions if you wish.
So that's all I have at the moment.
Anything further on the item? Anything from the public? All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
That number is 3739, and the clerk and I have corrected. I might have erred in one of the numbers, but that is the right number, 3739. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's get to reports of the league. Oh, no, regular agenda. Oh, we did that.
You did.
Okay, reports of the league representatives?
Sorry, they had their directors meeting earlier today. Unfortunately, because of this meeting, wasn't able to attend. And then they had their holiday party today. But the topic of discussion was property taxes with the conversation with our property appraisers. So very similar conversations like the ones we've had before. I spoke to Denise prior to the meeting. And then they said that they would report in the minutes what was discussed, but it looked like it was going to be very similar to the other types of discussions as to what the league is planning on doing statewide in order to fight or at least educate residents as to what will come down the pipeline in November of next year regarding property taxes.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
I will be attending, this isn't reports of the league, but I will be attending the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting in Washington, D.C. in January, and I'm preparing for it now. If any of you have topics of national interest that you want me to look at, let me know.
I will, just since you mentioned that, I will be attending Broward Days as well. So if we have anything, I'll connect with administration,
Please
but
do.
anything specific to Champion, we'll be working with our lobbyists to make sure that we connect with the right people. But if, again, like the mayor said, if you guys have any points of discussion you'd like me to bring up, I can do so as well.
Thank you very much. Report to the city attorney.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor, but thank you for the opportunity.
Reports to the city manager.
No items.
Mr. Manager, I thought you were going to bring up the issue with an update on the union contracts.
Mr. Mayor, you did request that of me. I did check with our attorney who's part of the process, and he said it is not appropriate to talk about anything in the contracts because we are in negotiations. I think that's fair.
As far as
we're still waiting. We have not heard from the FOP yet.
I think that's fair, but I received a report that that for whatever reason, union representatives have not been granted time, except for personal time, vacation leave, or annual leave. I'm not exactly sure what it is, in order to attend city meetings. And I find that inappropriate.
Mr. Mayor, I did check that,
Yeah.
and we did a report, and that's not accurate. There's only one employee that was not granted it, but that employee is on administrative leave.
And that may be,
And
that may be
according
so.
to the police policy, that is not permissible.
And I understand that he's an employee, but such is the nature of union representation. And if what we need to do is create a policy here, then that's what we need to do. And I have great respect for the police department, and I don't want to interfere with what they're doing. But this is now crossing my dais. I don't want to hear that any union representative representing any employee of this city has to use annual leave in order to do their job. I don't want to hear it.
They don't, Mayor. It's only in the situation if an employee is on administrative leave.
Mr. Dodge, I hesitate to pass the gavel and make a motion. I don't want to hear any union representative who's elected under any set of circumstances being told that they have to use annual leave in order to do their elected job. I don't want to hear it. Does anyone on the commission disagree? I don't want to hear that. I want to know that they're being able to do their job and that they're being able to do it in a manner that is frankly appropriate. And I think it is inappropriate under any set of circumstances to require a duly elected, any duly elected union representative at any time that they must use annual leave in order to attend a meeting with the city. I just think that's inappropriate. And I'm bringing it up because I'm not happy with what's going on. Okay? So I'm not hearing that anyone is objecting to that view.
Mayor, I'm not saying anything because I have not, certainly not in the Monday memo.
No.
I am not prepared to comment at all.
Okay.
I have not received that phone call. I don't know what you're speaking to.
Okay, I received a phone call along those lines.
Okay, well, and I don't want that to be shared on live TV, but I do want to have an opportunity to sit down with our city manager, to sit down with our city attorney, and understand what's happening. This is a little awkward, but I'm not prepared to speak to something that I'm not prepared.
That's fair.
Okay, so
That's fair.
So I would ask you to withhold any motions,
Okay.
any actions, or asking for any kind of consensus until each and every one of us has the same information you have.
Okay,
And I'm not going to ask my colleagues if they have any information that I don't have. I'm disclosing I don't have the information that you're
that's fair.
referring to.
That's fair. And I know that each of you will make your appropriate contacts. I have a feeling that we will never have to have this conversation again. Because I know that to a person, what we expect is that our staff, in whom our confidence is marrow deep, will find a way to very professionally and amicably do business with their labor partners. We can disagree on contract issues, and we can disagree on this, that, and the other thing. It may not get ugly. It may not cross that line. And I never want to have this conversation again. Thank you very much. Is there anything else, Mr. City Manager, on that item?
No, Mayor, there's
Thank you.
not.
Okay, commission items. Commissioner Schwartz, you're recognized, item 42.
Okay, and before I read 42, colleagues, I want to put in the context why we have item 42. I was asked to place an item on the agenda under new business or under a commission item with respect to disclosures. So I did some research, independent research, and I worked with the city attorney's office, and I found an ordinance that was passed in Tamarack in 2007. The city attorney in Tamarack in 2007 just happens to be our city attorney.
Yes.
So it was a really easy find. When I found it, I didn't ask him to find something. I found it on my own independent. And I had a brief discussion on, because I reviewed the Tamarack's ordinance. And I asked the city attorney to offer some language for us to digest and work through to come up with what would be the best thing for our residents to have a code of ordinances, ethics. Right now it's in the handbook, employee handbook, which is fantastic. I was happy to see most of the language. But in the city attorney's memo that we all have in the Monday memo, it says right at the very end that while city elected officials may in the future may have to disclose more financial information, and that city employees may have to do the same, the city may amend its own code of ethics to address specific conduct, and it may introduce policies that will help the city itself when it comes to procurement matters. So with that context, I offer you the following. The City Commission recently adopted a series of revisions to Chapter 35 of the City's Code of Ordinances, also known as the City's Procurement Code of the City of Pembroke Pines. Absent from recent revisions, there were provisions that would further seek to protect the public interest by embracing certain additional ethical requirements.
Can you read just a little slower? Thank you. Just a little slower so I can follow you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's on the screen, but okay, I'll slow down. I'll start over. The City Commission recently adopted a series of revisions to Chapter 35 of the City's Code of Ordinances, also known as the City's Procurement Code of the City of Pembroke Pines. Absent from recent revisions, there were provisions that would further seek to protect the public interest by embracing certain additional ethical requirements and transparency affecting the city's professional staff and employees in the context of the city's continuing acquisition of goods and services in that regard. To add language to the city code to require in all city procurements, all city employees as public officers shall not invest or hold any investment directly or indirectly in any financial business, commercial, or other private transaction with any vendor of goods or services to be provided to the city that creates a conflict with one's official duties as a city employee and as a public officer. Further, each city employee as a public officer in such situations shall disclose all such personal relationships in any instance where there could be a conflict of interest or an appearance of a conflict in connection of any such city procurement of goods and services. And I want to thank the city attorney for providing that language. So I'd like to get my colleagues' thoughts. Do we want to join Tamarack and basically take the city's employee handbook and codify it in our code of ordinances?
May I speak?
Yes.
I understand it on a premise, but I had, as you might have noticed, a couple questions on the agenda item. From my understanding, a lot of what you're proposing here was also on the ethics policy. So what you're saying, just for clarity, is to make it part of the procurement code.
City attorney?
I'll be happy to address that together. My colleague, Mr. Horowitz, and I will be happy to give you a response, Commissioner. If the question is, would you, if the preference is to amend the procurement code, which is an ordinance of the city, that's certainly a venue to consider that, and I'll defer to Mr. Horowitz to give you a more refined answer.
I want clarity as to what this is asking, where it would be going, considering it's already part of some of the documentation that our procurement or any city official signs within this ethics policy.
Yeah. Good evening, Mayor Commission, Jacob Horowitz, Deputy City Attorney. Just a couple observations and a little bit of history here as well. And Commissioner Schwartz is correct. In 2007, Tamarack did adopt a code of ethics that applied not specifically to procurement, but a general code of ethics for its city employees. A little bit of evolution as it relates to ethics in Broward County since that time, although that code is still in place. In 2010, you may recall the Broward County Charter was amended, and that amendment specifically spoke to ethics issues and authorized and gave the county the ability to impose a code of ethics, adopt a code of ethics that would apply to elected municipal officials, to public municipal employees, and to appointees, public appointees at the municipal level, like advisory board members. We currently have a code of ethics that applies to elected municipal officials, and you all live with that every day as we do. The county charter gives the Broward County Commission the authority to adopt a code of ethics that would apply to public employees countywide. They have not done that. About, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, there was a draft circulated by the county attorney's office that spoke exactly to that issue. We had a copy, Broward League of Cities had a copy. It never matured, never was presented to the county commission, but the county retains that authority. To the extent the county wanted to adopt a code of ethics that would apply to municipal public employees, they could do that. The county has a code of ethics that applies to its employees. It does not apply to municipal employees. They also have a code of ethics that applies to their advisory board members, but they've not chosen thus far to adopt a code of ethics to apply to municipal advisory board members, although the county charter gives them that ability. In addition to the county code of ethics, since 2007, there's also been about a half a dozen amendments to what's referred to as Chapter 112.313, which are the standards of conduct in the code of ethics at the state level for public officers and employees. And in 112.313, there's certain provisions that speak to a lot of the issues you're referring to this evening and Commissioner Schwartz raises in his items, particularly doing business with one's own agency, conflicting contract relationships, conflicting employment relationships, and there are limitations under state law as it relates to all of those things. And the Ethics Commission in Tallahassee has rendered dozens, if not hundreds of opinions looking at each of those issues. Those issues apply to you all as elected officials. They apply to your city employees as public officials who meet that definition under Chapter 112. So there are certain provisions in place currently at the state level that speak to some of these issues. The City Commission could adopt a code of ethics that applies to its employees. There's no limitation under the county charter. There's no limitation under state law that would restrict your ability to do that. In the event that the county took some action and they adopted a code of ethics for public employees that conflicted with a municipal code of ethics, they would preempt our ability to regulate on the same subject matter. But short of that, it's certainly something the commission has the legal authority to do, but a number of the issues that you're looking at the moment, so it would appear, are currently addressed in state law. So I guess we would need a little more clarity as to what exactly the intent of the commission was, as to whether or not it'd be prudent to adopt something in our code, because again, a lot of these things are currently covered at the state level.
So my questions, and I'll go through and ask each of them, but one of them being, what are those requirements? Because obviously Form 6 is not in contention.
Correct.
Form 1 is a consideration to be a part of this.
Well, and again, I don't know exactly what the commissioner is suggesting, but on that issue in particular, there was never and has not been a scenario where municipal employees where the legislature sought to impose the Form 6 requirement on municipal employees.
Yeah.
There is a Form 1 requirement, certainly not on all of your staff, but on your city manager, on your city attorney, on your planning administrator, on certain procurement employees, on your finance director.
I understand in theory, but I also and I guess we'll see how this lays out, but I have some pause in it if we do something as like Form 1, because Form 1, it includes real property, intangible personal property liabilities. I don't believe that those need to be divulged by our employees. I understand a second source of income, that makes sense, because that might be in conflict with whatever, firm or vendor we're working with or something like that. But I don't feel comfortable pushing that onto our employees in that way.
If I could add one point, Commissioner, just keep in mind the provision in 112.313 that prohibits doing business with your own agency. If any one of your employees has an outside business, or if a spouse or a certain family member, as those terms are defined, has an outside business, they are prohibited under state law from doing business with the city of Pembroke Pines if their interest in that business is what's referred to as a material interest, is more than 5% ownership.
So that's already established.
That is a statutory requirement today. It applies to you, it applies to us, it applies to your staff.
So this is formalizing that within our own code? Okay.
What would the point of that be if it's already in state law? What would the point of it be? I mean, do we add any value by parroting in an ordinance what already exists in state law?
I mean, it's not unheard of, but there's redundancy there. I mean, again, the statute already captures that issue. It's no less prohibited.
It's not like we can change the statute.
That's correct.
It's already there.
We could only make it more restrictive then.
We can make it more restrictive.
And in what ways are we looking to make it more restrictive? Because I have a couple questions on that.
You would have to tell us what.
Okay, I'm just going to go through my questions then. Question 3, I guess, is answered by that. Will this disclosure requirement mirror state, county level ethics standards, or does it create a new local standard beyond state requirements? I guess that's TBD. How will disclosure be documented and maintained? Is it through HR, the city clerk, or other departments?
I mean, I can tell you that currently these disclosures, the Form 1, for instance, is filed through the online portal in Tallahassee. Your staff, if they're not if it's not your city manager or your finance director or your building official, they're not required to file a Form 1, and there would not be a mechanism for them to access that portal.
So we would have to build a mechanism for that.
So it would need to be either a filing with your city clerk, with your HR director, but there would need to be some portal or some venue in the city to file those disclosures.
Does this proposed amendment apply only to employees involved in procurement or to city employees as a whole?
You would have to tell us that.
Let me give some context on that, and I appreciate the question, Commissioner Rodriguez. Let me first state that I'm not alleging any wrongdoing is happening within the city of Pembroke Pines.
Of course not.
I'm not alleging that at all. However, I would hope we would all agree that members of Congress who go to Congress making $174,000 a year come out millionaires 5 years later.
Depends on how they make it.
And this is true. But the Congress has been debating insider trading and that sort of thing. Now, we're going to reel this thing back in for a moment. The perception, the city's going to go out and buy something in some industry. We're the second largest city in the county. And now we have a procurement level of $100,000 or more. I'm sorry, $100,000 or less. And the city commission no longer has to approve it. That's what happened tonight at the second reading. So, again, I'm not alleging anything, but the city manager formulates a committee that creates bid specs. The committees do that. Industries, departments do that. They want to go out and they see something in another city and they want the same. They go out and bid. Again, it no longer comes to the city if it's under 100,000. I'm looking to have some type of a mechanism that would capture just disclosure that there's no interest or perception of interest. The other scenario, Vice Mayor, is no bid contracts at a much lower level that never reaches the city manager's level signature because department heads can sign off at $10,000 or less, or just not going out to bid at all and just extending contracts. This is about relationships working together and there's, you know, we're just going to extend this one, we're just not going to go out anymore. I just want to make the public comfortable, confident that our staff who's involved in that process just signs waivers that there's no conflict, that there's not a quid pro quo type of thing. And however we want it to look and however it's going to be reported and where it gets filed, whether it's HR, I don't think the city clerk is the appropriate place. But I think HR would be the place. If HR has an issue, then HR can deal with it as an employment issue according to the handbook. But to be able to codify the employee handbook in our code so it has a little bit more teeth, and those who may think twice about doing something that they shouldn't be doing. We can't solve the world's problems, okay? In retail, it's called shrink. Things disappear off the shelf. Sometimes the customers take it, and sometimes the employees do it. And at the end of the year, they go through and they add it all up, and there's your number. These widgets are missing. We have internal audit controls. We have a commission auditor. We have things in place. So I'm basically looking at codifying the employee handbook in our code of ordinances just to add another layer. Is it redundancy, Mayor? I don't know. It's a step forward. I mean, the county chooses not to move forward on a voter initiative. So why not do something that sets us apart from the way that other cities may do business and may wind up on the news? I don't want to be that city. I want to say that we had an opportunity. I was tasked, I was challenged to bring something back. I worked with our city attorney. I think the questions on here are fair, and we control the outcome of that.
But the questions on here, though, was what I was, in a sense, hoping that this would answer, unless it's simply to give direction for a mechanism like this to be built, including some of our questions, but I can't support it as vague as I see it to be.
Well, it's vague is because it's concept. The five of us get to determine what the final outcome is going to look like.
But couldn't we decide what the final outcome was going to look like if it came together with this already prepared?
Well, that would be one's viewpoint. And I had mentioned in a previous motion, in a previous meeting, in Form 6, so I saw what direction that was going to go. So I asked the city attorney, I said, here's conceptually what I want to do, and not to repeat myself, well, here's 2007, Tamarack. Take a look at it. It was a good read. And so we had a discussion, and city attorney prepared the language that's in front of us, the vague language that's in front of us. If you like, I'm not opposed to have all of us digest this over the holiday break. We can workshop it, certainly have more conversations with the city attorney, take a look at what the county is doing, take a look at what Tamarack has done, and let's continue the conversation.
I completely agree with that. Because there are obviously a lot of questions that need to be answered. What the enforcement mechanism looks like, who is actually going to sign, how often are they going to sign? Like, in theory, it might be redundant, but I agree with you that it's something that's necessary, at least for us to show even more force in the attention to detail that we're giving, especially when it comes to procurement. So I agree. I just don't believe that it's prepared to its fullest extent. If it's simply for discussion and to have administration look into it further as to how we can find a mechanism for this, I'm willing to vote yes.
Let me, can I sort of interject maybe? So.
What, sorry.
I look for.
Can I just finish my
Yes, go right ahead.
thought? But I don't want to, in a sense, also overburden our staff by doing that, because even we choose to do this as part of our careers and whatnot, and they choose to serve the public as well. But some of the things, and that's why Form 6 has been in litigation, is that it's too invasive for what the point of it is. If a second source of income makes sense to say, as already in state statute, that makes sense. But to dig in further as to how much everyone's jewelry box cost, it doesn't make any sense to me.
So
yeah, let me.
Before my
yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I want to have us have a think tank, a group project, a group consensus. I'm not bound to one way or no way. That's not the intent. The intent is to enhance what we currently have, to build upon the years of success that we've had, and lead. I just want to lead. Have the city of Pembroke Pines lead. Tamarack has one up on us. We're gonna have to call Mayor Bogan and ask Carl Springs to do the same now. But Tamarack has already done it. The county has put their foot in and taken it away. The only direction I could possibly see, if it was a motion, I'm not making the motion, would be to ask the city attorney to work with HR to come up with something that's efficient, effective, and also the city manager. It could just be a form that's completed prior to any procurement-related putting together a bid before the committee. And I imagine there's probably some forms in the committee already. I know I had to sign something that there wasn't a conflict. But something along those lines, and just put it into our code instead of the employee handbook. The employee handbooks can be changed at any point, quite honestly, without our approval. This would give us this commission or a future commission the opportunity to work with the administration on real ethics changes. It shouldn't just be to be able to move it around in a handbook.
Okay. So a couple things. The first thing is, I like solutions to actual problems, not a proposed series of actions in response to a problem that can't be pointed to. Tamarack has an ordinance because Tamarack had a major incident, the kind of which has never visited the city of Pembroke Pines. And I'm not sure that they have a leg up on anything in Tamarack, though I have great regard for their city and for their for their officials, both past and present. Because to have a leg up, you have to have let's say, a series of check marks. One of them is you filled a gap in the state ethics law that existed before in your city. I'm not sure that they have that leg up. I'm not sure that all they've done is say, well, we passed an ethics law, but I don't know that it's any different than the state law. I don't know that because I didn't see it in the back. So what I'm looking for is what is the problem? Secondly, what is the solution to that problem? Third, is the solution tenable? Let's talk a little bit about, because I like very much the policy that Mr. Gomes has for his staff. I think it's very strong. You shall not be invested in a company that you do business with, that you're reviewing a purchase for. Okay, fine. How would they know how to invest a 401k? Or how would they know how to invest a 457, which they don't even have control over because it's managed by a portfolio manager? How do they know that they own $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 worth of Home Depot, which, quite frankly, isn't even close to material from the perspective of an ownership interest? It wouldn't even be reportable. And with respect to Form 1 and Form 6, and I know that this is in litigation, and I have great respect for the state of Florida, but they're both jokes when it comes to ethics. I filled out a Form 6. I had never filled one out before. I called the Ethics Commission for guidance, and they said they had no guidance to offer. And when I started looking at how people filled out Form 6s, there was a potpourri of all different, all over the place. It was one filled it out this way, another one filled it out the other way, and they were all acceptable. Look, the bottom line here is, let's say Joe Smith is a purchasing agent, and he has a landscape company. Let's make it a simple thing. And he wants to put in a bid to work in Pembroke Pines, and he doesn't want anyone to find out that it's his landscape company. I got news for you. Sooner or later, Joe Smith is going to go to jail, because that is not only against the ethics rules, it's a crime. So it's not just you're defrauding if you're involved in a scenario like that. So what we have to do is we've got to find where the holes are. Where are the missing pieces? And then once we find those, we have to decide, are they relevant to us in light of all of this? Because here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have a procurement staff that is afraid or looking at their portfolio every time they get an assignment on their desk for a bid. I don't know that there's one employee there that owns 5% of any company. And the director has to fill out a Form 1 or 6. One of those forms. 6? He's got to fill out a Form 6. And he's the director, and he's the one that's checking.
It's a Form 1.
Or is it a Form 1?
Form 1, yeah.
Which is a joke. We filled it out forever. It's silly. I actually feel silly when I fill it out. So, because it says nothing. I don't know. It's not that I'm against this. I'm very much for it. Listen, I used to be a business ethics professor at St. Thomas. It's what I did before I got elected. I understand this subject matter. I don't have a problem with having a code if it offers us something that we need, so that we can't get through the other superior law bodies, which is the federal government, the state government, a county government, the IG. You know, show me what the holes are. But for me to try and get my arms around a solution when the problem hasn't been laid out, I don't understand it. Are you aware of any incident in purchasing that has caught your attention that is in any way unethical? Are you aware of any? I'm not. Are you aware of any?
Mayor, I think this is a first good step for us to work towards.
Well, here's what I would say.
For us to work towards looking at the full scope. I'm with you. And I would welcome the commission auditor,
right?
Okay, to assist us as well, because part of the risk assessment, right? Because that's coming. That's coming, right? So this is a conversation,
right,
for us to keep on the stove, and when it's ready, we can talk about it at a future meeting. I want to have this be a starting conversation.
Here's what would help me. Here's what would help me, and I'm not speaking for anyone else but me. Some more specific notions. And I'm encouraging you, because you brought the item, to meet with the auditor, to meet with the manager, to meet with the staff, meet with the purchasing people. Okay. Find what those gaps are, and let's address the gaps.
Let me address the charter first.
Because
Mayor,
they're there.
Mayor, the only way any one of us can work with the commission auditor on an individual basis is if we have 3 members of the commission allowing that individual to work with the auditor.
No, sir. You have every right to
inquire, but I can't direct. I can't.
No one's asking you to direct anything. We're asking you have the absolute ability to consult and ask questions of anyone in this government, and I know that Mr. George will want to, because no one is more for ethics rules than Mr. Dodge. He will want you to look for what these gaps are, and then bring us things that we can look at. So, for example, let's say in the distribution of work within the purchasing department, there should be some pre-analysis of whether the person you're going to give a particular procurement package to has this, that, or the other. I don't know. And then when you're selecting a, what do you call them, selection negotiation committee?
Committees.
Evaluation selection committee.
Selection evaluation committee.
When you're selecting a selection evaluation committee, and there are only really so many people in this government that are capable of doing that kind of work, they have to have a certain rigor in what they're doing. But at the end of the day, if we're not looking at specific examples of how we can strengthen, it's just too general. And so I'm encouraging you, meet with the staff, bring us back something, and then let's deliberate not about, I want the Swiss cheese, not the hole in the Swiss cheese.
Okay, so
I want to buy
what I brought. I requested language, and the city attorney's office provided that to me. Great. So now we'll take the next step.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to do that together.
Please bring us back some specifics in terms of what you're thinking about. We each have these kinds of assignments. Let's take a look at it. I'm open to taking a look at it, but here's what I'm not open to doing. I'm not open to passing an ordinance that allows this city or any member to say, oh, we passed an ethics ordinance. That doesn't mean squat, because it's all it does is parrot state law, which trumps it anyway. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of energy. That's a waste of money. If it has substance and it has meaning and it solves a problem, I'm all for it. But I'm not about wasting time. So I want to look at what the actual problems are. Vice Mayor, you have anything on this?
I have confidence in state law. That's my only comment.
Yeah. you have anything?
I'm listening to the conversation, and I find value in what you are both saying. So I do understand, because I'm thinking the same thing you are in a sense of what circumstances can exist.
Right.
But at the same time, I do understand too the need to have awareness. Because I also see that this as being a local awareness, because even though you have state law, nobody is going to pay attention to state law. You can't expect people.
If I may, it may go so, the only step that we may have to take, okay? We have to do ethics training every year. And there's a certain number of hours that we have to do as electeds. Mr. Horowitz, is there any requirement to have staff do ethics training other than the handbook?
There is not. We do provide training from time
I know
to
you
time, but
provide training for
there's no,
some, but not all.
but there's no requirement.
Say again?
There's no
There's no
codified
requirement.
requirement.
So it might be just a review of the ethical standards of the handbook itself, which
Well,
could,
we see
which
right
could be,
there, right
which could be,
you pointed to a hole.
okay, which could
That's
be,
helpful.
which could be an online training, it could be an in-house training, it could be all those things.
That's helpful. But I think that those things are things that the manager can do. I don't know that we need an ordinance for that.
Well, we can also direct the manager as well.
Absolutely. Mr.
So-
Manager, I think people should have ethics training. And he can go and give them ethics training through the city attorney's office. An hour a year should be sufficient. I go for 3, but,
Well, you gotta go for
Yeah,
4.
4, Mr. Mayor.
Four,
Excuse me,
Mr.
if you're doing
Oh,
3,
we hope you do 4.
I go
Yes.
for 4, but I'm in a suspect profession. So I think an hour is enough for them, and let them go through the ethics. See, to me, that is that's a hole. You found a gap. Let's do that. If there are other gaps, let's do those. But I can't handle the amorphous sort of.
All right, so we'll come back, January, February, we'll come back. Think about other things, that you may want to consider directing the manager that we can codify in the code.
Anything else on this? Thank you so very much for a great conversation. Anything else for the good of the whole? Happy holidays to everyone, and thank you very, very much. And we'll see you in January.